right. Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good day. It is Monday, the 20th of whatever month this is. I think it's May. I think it's May. Yeah, May 20th. Yeah. I can't keep track of the time. I can't keep track of the dates. It's just not. My brain is not conducive to time anymore. It just isn't working out. Uh, we will be having our drawing in about 2 hours. Donovan said that he was going to pop on about 1 o'clock. I think it is Pacific Standard Time. So we'll be having that beef drawing at that time. Although we stated that entries ended yesterday, I believe that they are still taking entries. So for those of you who have not signed up for the giveaway today, I would suggest doing so ASAP. ASAP. Yeah. Yeah, wall to wall pro babies. You're not kidding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and then yeah, they're everywhere. And do I see a spider web across my camera again? There it is, right there. See it? You guys see it? It's. Let's see. How do I make my finger go in the? Right there. See it? Yeah, that spider up there has got a web going all the way down to there. Yeah. I'll get that out of here, but once I turn off my camera and get things going for you guys, I will get rid of it. So that is the link there for the giveaway. If I could get somebody to please drop that, actually, I'll go ahead and do it. I'll go ahead and drop it over there on Facebook side because I want to make sure everybody on that side has it available. Let's see here. Why are you putting that up? Okay, and get this dropped into the chat. Think. All right, and I will do the same on X. Let me do a refresh on this because it should actually come up on the screen this time that I am live. Yep, there we go. And paste it there. So it is up on the X side as well. So for those of you who have not signed up for the drawing today, this is your last chance to do so. I just dropped it into the chat for the X and for the Facebook side. So we'll go from there. All right. Let me get $5 as a spider wins. Actually, I don't kill the spiders out here. The only ones I have to watch out for are what are called the brown reclusive spiders. Those are the only ones I've got to watch out for. These little ones, I let them go ahead, catch as many flies and bees and stuff as they possibly can. It just keeps them from landing on my camera, is how I look at it. And not getting down in my face and annoying me. So, we'll go from there. Let's get my, there we go. X up on the screen, get this camera killed so we get some speed back. Lots of stuff out from today's hearing, Donald Trump hearing, and it's we're going to start off with that. Kyle Becker says, "I'm still reeling. CNN anchors shocked by revelation that Cohen stole money from the Trump organization. What?" Jake Tapper on Monday reacted to the news that Manhattan DA's star witness, Michael Cohen, stole $30,000 from the Trump organization. Oh, let's take a listen. Full screen.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating stuff, and I have to say, I'm still kind of reeling from the revelation that Michael Cohen stole money from the Trump organization, and that wasn't, at least to my knowledge, that the prosecution didn't get that out earlier, because it's not as though the prosecution is going to be helped by further evidence that Michael Cohen is a shady character. I'll get to the newest stuff in a second, but what's your reaction to that news? Because that was just kind of stunning.
I'm shocked that we are hearing it for the first time on day 3 of cross-examination of Michael Cohen, that the prosecution did not take the sting out, did not front it, because it goes to the heart of the actual case. It's not just about establishing him as a liar. They've done that. The prosecution fronted that. We knew that. He has convictions. But going to the heart of what you were telling your employer about what money you were owed and the extent of it, we're talking about $420,000. We've already seen the payment
This
structure
isn't like
here.
$15.
It's not $15. And if you go to the tablet, you can break down what was already known. We've known about what the breakdown of the money is. $130,000 to Daniels and her attorney. You've got $50,000 that's Redfin. This is important here. This was mentioned today that he only gave Redfin $20,000, and he handed them in a brown paper bag, by the way, just thinking about how odd that is.
And just one quick note, Redfinch is this political organization that apparently, according to Michael Cohen, helped them goose these bogus internet polls about which candidate is in the lead, et cetera, et cetera. And also, according to Lanny Davis, provided adoring fans for Trump's an announcement of his candidacy in June 2015. Sorry.
Really important point to add why this is. They only got 20,000 of it.
And even though the bill was for
$50,000, and you have $180,000, which is again the double of these two combinations, and then a bonus for Cohen. Remember, all that we have so far to link Donald Trump to these payments in part is the statement that, quote unquote, he approved it. We also know we have information about where the checks were, how it was signed. But remember, McConney, that was one of the comptrollers of the Trump organization, taking notes from Alan Weisselberg about the money payment. So this is part of what we're talking about. Why this is so important here is because the heart of the matter is that Donald Trump was complicit, caused to have this happen, and knew about the money that was going and why. If they can establish Michael Cohen as somebody who is not to be trusted about the amount of money as well, then they might be able to suggest that Donald Trump had no idea what he was truly paying.
So
well, it's going to get deeper. It's going to get a lot deeper. All right, TVP Sean says, deleted WEF memo reveals Trump is on hit list of leaders to be assassinated. I'm not even going to devil into this one. I'm just going to play the video, let him tell you.
A deleted and leaked World Economic Forum memo reveals that Donald J. Trump is on the hit list of leaders to be assassinated if he continues proving impossible to control. The plan to defeat Trump using lawfare is failing spectacularly, with the former president riding high in the polls while Biden flounders. Desperate to avoid a repeat of Trump's first 4 years in office, the global elite are now initiating Plan B, also known as the plot to remove President Donald Trump from the November election by any means necessary. Before we dive in, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, join the People's Voice Locals community to join our incredible community and support the channel, and check out the brand new free speech forum at community.thepeoplesvoice.tv. When the liberal elite can't win the arguments, they resort to censorship. When they can't control world leaders through corruption and compromise, they resort to assassination. Slovakia's anti-WEF Prime Minister Robert Fico survived an assassination attempt this week and is now in a life-threatening condition after he was airlifted to hospital. Mainstream media has declared that the assassination attempt on Fico was entirely justified due to his beliefs and what they describe as dangerous conspiracy theories. The WEF and the UN declared war on so-called conspiracy theorists, and now the mainstream media is suggesting that they must be killed to stop them spreading their dangerous ideas. In the real world, Fico is one of the few world leaders who can see through the WEF's agenda and bravely decided to oppose it. Known as one of the staunchest anti-globalist leaders in Europe, Fico has consistently called for an end to the war in Ukraine and has also angered the WEF by ordering an investigation into the COVID-19 response and devastating mRNA vaccine rollout.
Slovenská verejnosť jednoducho potrebuje odpoveď. Potrebuje odpoveď ohľadne očkovania. Čo to vlastne bolo? Prečo boli ľudia očkovaní rôznymi experimentálnymi vakcínami bez akýchkoľvek skúšok? Prečo do ľudí boli pchaté všelijaké lieky? Prečo bolo celoplošné testovanie? Kto kupoval? Prečo kupoval? Aké množstva sa kupovali? Koľko to stálo peňazí? A skončíme pri miliardách. Pri miliardách. Môžete sa rehliť koľko chcete, pretože vy iná nič neviete, len prejavovať neúctu k inému názoru. Viete, demokracia je o tom, že niekedy rešpektujete aj iný názor. Keď si tu vyrozprávate už tretí týždeň o trestnom zákone.
Perhaps the final straw for the global elite came in recent weeks when FICO provided powerful opposition to the WHO pandemic treaty, playing a leading role in stopping the globalist organization from forcing through the legislation. Japan has already had a taste of this. Shinzo Abe, who served 2 terms as Prime Minister of Japan and remained hugely influential in global politics, was assassinated by a far-left henchman in July 2022. Abe was a critic of the New World Order and was re-elected for a rare second term in 2012, with a mandate to defend his country from the Chinese Communist Party and their friends in the highest echelons of the WEF and United Nations. While Abe was silenced by the global elite, his legacy lives on. The people of Japan are fiercely opposed to the agenda of the New World Order, recently protesting in their millions against the authoritarian WHO pandemic treaty, which is threatening to undermine the sovereignty of nations and allow Bill Gates and Tedros to build a global totalitarian surveillance society. We have a lot to learn from Japan and how to reject the New World Order, because, as Tucker Carlson explained last year, Trump is providing the global elite with a problem that they can only solve through assassination.
What do you think the future holds? Is it,
I don't know.
I mean, are they going to let Trump be president?
No, of course. I mean, look, if, they protested him, they called him names. He won anyway. They impeached him twice on ridiculous pretenses. They fabricated a lot about what happened on January 6th in order to impeach him again. It didn't work. He came back. Then they indicted him. It didn't work. He became more popular. Then they indicted him 3 more times, and every single time his popularity rose. So if you begin with criticism, then you go to protest, then you go to impeachment, now you go to indictment, and none of them work, what's next? I mean, graph it out, man. We're speeding toward assassination, obviously, and no one will say that, but I don't know how you can reach that conclusion. You know what I mean? Like, they have decided, permanent Washington, both parties have decided that there's something about Trump that's so threatening to them, they just can't have him. I mean, they're putting him on trial in March of next year in the J6 case, which basically consists of trying to send him to prison for the rest of his life for complaining about the last election. That's literally what it is. Again, if this were happening in Moldova, the State Department would issue an all-hands-on-deck order to let the world know this is not a legitimate government. And yet our government is doing it. It's like it's hard to overstate how bad this is. And I don't know where it's going, but there's a collision that's clearly imminent. And by the way, the president is senile in a way that's impossible to deny. Biden's not running the government, so like, I don't know, man. I've never been this worried about anything as I am about where this is going.
Tucker was ahead of the curve, because fast forward less than 1 year and the World Economic Forum are plotting to carry out the hit. Today's sponsor is LiverMedic. If you think the supplements you are getting from big box retailers are doing you any good, think again. Did you know that most of the retailers in America are owned and controlled by the same handful of companies that control everything? But we have a choice. LiverMedic's leaky gut repair is aimed at the millions of people suffering from all forms of digestive discomfort. Their safe and efficacious natural product is physician grade, with no toxic fillers. It coats while repairing the digestive lining. Best of all, unlike Big Pharma's offerings, it actually works. Join me and millions of other Americans who are voting with our dollars by supporting an American company that truly cares about our health. Save up to 15% on a 3-month supply by using our code People's Voice by visiting livermedic.com/step/leaky gut special, or by clicking on the link below this video. Take back control of your health, protect your family from the global elites, and hit them where it really hurts. Visit livermedic.com/step/leaky gut special, or click the link below this video to find out more. Trump has long been threatened by members of the compromised political elite, with Chuck Schumer famously warning him that the intelligence community weren't going to let him get away with shooting from the hip and destroying the New World Order.
As you were just saying, the President-elect's latest
Yeah.
unsolicited pronouncement on the intelligence community. This was his tweet just a little while ago tonight. You see the scare quotes there. The intelligence briefing on so-called Russian hacking was delayed until Friday. Perhaps more time needed to build a case. Very strange. We're actually told, intelligence sources tell NBC News since this tweet has been posted, that actually this intelligence briefing for the president-elect was always planned for Friday. It hasn't been delayed. But he's taking these shots, this antagonism, this taunting to the intelligence
tell
community.
You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you. So even for a practical, supposedly hard-nosed businessman, he's being really dumb to do this.
What do you think the intelligence community would do if they were motivated?
I don't know,
to?
but from what I am told, they are very upset with how he has treated them and talked about them.
Schumer wasn't wrong. As Tucker pointed out earlier, the intelligence community tried to frame Trump on multiple occasions. Remember Russiagate? Congress impeached him on 2 ridiculous charges. Then came the lawfare episode, which is still playing out. All of these dirty tricks failed, and still President Trump is standing, defying the odds and the agenda of the global elite. Now, according to a WF insider, they are planning to take him out in the same way they've removed other troublesome world leaders. Justifying the decision by stating the world will be better off without Donald Trump, their memo cites Trump's rising popularity in spite of his legal issues and his upcoming debates with Joe Biden. Addressed to the Inner Sanctum members who were not identified by name, the leaked and deleted WF memo targeting Trump has been passed to the Secret Service and was offered to mainstream news outlets. However, they refused to run the story. Could this decision to cover up the crime have anything to do with the fact that the mainstream media are all on Bill Gates' payroll and operate as the PR department of the global elite? Undoubtedly, the media has already been told how to cover the story and twist the facts and mislead the masses to suit the implementation of the elite's dystopian agenda. But it's not too late for us to make a stand and destroy their plans. Despite their best laid plans, the future is belong to the elites. More and more people are waking up and seeing the global elite for what they've always been: deranged psychopaths intent on destruction and domination. It's our duty to continue shining a light on the darkness and waking up as many people as possible. This is how we defeat them. Here at The People's Voice, we want you to join us in our mission to spread the word and defeat the evil. Subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends and family about us.
All right, we've heard enough of that one. So now we know. Yeah. Speaking of Jake Tapper, here's a little more.
Democratic Senator from Rhode Island, Sheldon Whitehouse, facing questions about his family's membership in an elite exclusive private beach club known as Bailey's Beach Club. There are accusations that the Newport Beach Club has only white members after a local news outlet questioned the senator about the club. CNN's Sunlen Serfati has been reaching out to the club and the senator, trying to get clear answers, which has not been easy. So, Sunlen, what did they say?
Well, they really haven't said much. They are being very evasive here. I've had multiple short conversations with them over the last 2 days, and they point blank have not cleared up the reporting that is out there about their club. And they've even hung up on me multiple times. This is the total extent of what they have told me. Quote, "We are a private club, so I am not allowed to give out names of members or people associated with our club. I have no comment at this time. We have no comment at this time." And that is when they typically would hang up on me. Now, Senator Whitehouse responded yesterday to CNN when asked about the reports of his family's continued membership to this club. And he says, quote, "The club informs me that it does in fact have diversity in membership." But when he was asked if he personally was aware of any diverse members of the club, the senator said, quote, "I believe that there were. I don't spend a lot of time there, so I couldn't tell you who the members are." Now, Whitehouse's office tells me that the club has no restrictive all-white policy and says that the club has had and has members of color, but importantly, they did not show us any evidence, Jake, that there are actually members of color who are members at this club.
Well,
These clubs, unfortunately, clubs that have exclusionary practices don't necessarily always have exclusionary policies. And Senator Whitehouse, we should point out, has built a reputation for himself fighting for equal rights and diversity and progressive civil rights causes.
That's right. He's a known progressive. This is someone who fights for diversity on a regular basis publicly. Last week, he co-sponsored the Juneteenth bill, making it a federal holiday. Now, this week, the senator, in answering questions about this, he actually did defend the club as having a long tradition of being a family club. He has said that in the past, though, he would push for them to work on improving diversity, but he has not put forward any evidence of those conversations or push them to release the statistics of membership that he, of course, has cited in this statement.
Yeah, you notice that they're trying to make race an issue again. It's like trying to bring all this to a forefront again. You know, basically they, the buildup to Trump going in was there in, I believe it was in Wisconsin, Brownsville. With that kid who was killed, and then the narrative like this was pushed all the way up until George Floyd incident, and then and it just built and built and built, all the way up to the beginning of the election. So it goes to show the level in which they're willing to extend themselves out in order to create this race diversity type of situation. I didn't really understand this one, but dear President Biden, this is what Black family looks like. There's 1,500 votes that need to be cast. If you want your votes, you need to okay, here we go.
Dear President Biden, this is how a Black family looks like. There's 1,500 paper ballots that need to be cast. If you want our votes, what you need to... We vote for Trump! Donald Trump! Psych!
Okay, yeah. Didn't make much sense to me, but hey, he's glad he put it out. Obviously, it's wasn't well scripted. Yeah. Wall Street Babe says proof Joe Biden's illegal immigration invasion was planned by his handlers. They literally told you their plan. Here you go.
There are going to be no deportations in the first 100 days of my campaign.
Let me get that right. You are going to freeze deportations?
Freeze deportations for the first 100 days. And only people will be deported are people who committed a felony while here. That's number one. Okay, I lost that.
Yeah, well, but that's good because we could talk you and I on that.
Okay.
But it's
but think about it.
So
there are going to be no
the only people who are going to be deported are ones who commit crimes. Okay, and as I continue to go through my X list here, I don't really have I have a lot there in regards to in our X list today in regards to illegals and the crimes that they're committing all across this country right now. Cindy Haynes asks, Hawk, what is your take on the Mike Gill and Michelle debacle? Okay. So I've kind of gone back and forth with a lot of people in regards to this. I do not trust Mike Gill. I do not trust Mike Flynn. I do not trust 90% of the podcasters that are out there that are directly associated to the Flynn network. I don't trust where, Michelle Moore, I'm kind of in the air. I'm on the fence in regards to her specifically. I have a lot of conversations with our Father in heaven. Okay. And, sometimes I'll get, things will happen that lead me to believe that he heard me. And is, shown me a way to work through some of the things that I've had to go through in these last years. I believe that when something needs to be done, that we're led into a direction, and I believe that that if he wants to speak to us, he can, you know, and I have no doubt in his power, you know. But to constantly say, you know, throw out there in regards to every comment that you make, you know, the Holy Spirit told me, the Holy Spirit told me, the Holy Spirit told me. Listen, there are no prophets, okay? And people, and I want you guys to understand this. If God anointed a prophet, the likes of Isaiah, of John the Baptist, of Jeremiah, we would know it. Okay. And it's you know, you can blaspheme against Christ, you can blaspheme against God, and you can ask for forgiveness and receive it. But if you blaspheme against the Holy Spirit, the Holy Ghost, that's a big hard stop. Okay. You blaspheme the Holy Spirit, you have no entrance into heaven. Now, you know, people say, well, that's a religious belief. Well, this is the thing, is that I believe that my choice to believe, if I am wrong, the consequences for being wrong, for believing, are going to be tremendously less than if I did not believe and professed that I did not believe and was wrong. Does that make sense? So I would rather believe and be wrong than not believe and be wrong, because the consequences for that way outweigh anything that you could put on the scale. You know, it's you know, so that's where my belief is, you know, my belief scale is, you know. So in professing that everything is Holy Spirit led and everything, the professing of that can lead to a problem in the long run, you know. But I mean, she's had some great guests on. She's had some great interviews. Okay. That one that she did with the guy Matthew, that was directly associated to Mickey Klon for a little while there. Okay, that was a great interview. She just had somebody on about a week ago that covered the Catholic Church, and now I already came out and gave my story live to you guys on a podcast here, and I believe it's on 25. If it's not on 25, it's on 24. And in that podcast that I did with Dave, I told a part of my story. I didn't go through the whole thing because my story is kind of like a book, you know, and it's a lot of different things happened before and after, but the one topic that we were on was a particular priest by the name of Felix McGuire, Father Felix McGuire, and he was from St. John Fisher's Church in Marlborough, Connecticut. And I told my story in regards to what transpired with him and with the church and with DCYS in Connecticut. And as I was doing it, Dave was actually pulling it up on the screen, showing, you know, that not only was the priest under investigation at that time for pedophilia and molestation, but also showed the, you know, he also showed the documentation of before and after that time period where he had been accused of other children and stuff, and his connections to different porn shops in the Northeast of the United States, and how he would traffic kids through those. And then you know, when I stated that I did an interview with a couple of different newspapers, and around about the time that I had done them, Dave was able to pull those those front page stories up, and and he basically he showed the proof. As I was telling my story, he was verifying that everything that I was saying was factual, and everybody got to see it live, and everything, and actually learned how to find out if a priest near them, or if they're one of their priests from their own church, might have been investigated and things like that. So it was it was a really good time that we had that day. So after that, Dave came to me and he says, I'm getting an interview set up with Mike Gill. And he said, what do you know about Mike Gill? I said, well, I don't know anything. I said, I think I remember him from New Hampshire. He was a race, he owned race horses. And he said, and Dave said, yeah, that's the guy. And then I proceeded to tell Dave why I knew that Mike Gill was involved in horse races. And that was because of a horse that the guy that I worked for, Dan, owned a certain amount of businesses in Connecticut. And when I was not on duty, I would drive him around in his limo, just to make extra cash. So he had a horse by the name of Mixed Emotions. I invested in, it was a way for me to, pool up a little bit more money. So we were spending a lot of time at a place called Rockingham, New Hampshire, where the Rockingham racetrack is. So I knew of Mike Gill back then. I had heard horror stories in regards to horses dying and having to be put down while there, and knew of different situations and things like that. Conditions there were not the best for horses. They were great for the people who owned them, but their horses were, it was basically flesh peddling, only with horse flesh, and races being the peddling part of it, and then the gambling on top of it. So I didn't know much about him other than that until about a week after Dave had told me that he was talking about doing an interview. I had gone through a few of the interviews that he had with Michelle. And it's 17 years later, if a person believes it's something that happened 17 years ago with a financial cartel, not a drug cartel, but it's obviously it became about a drug cartel as well. It just kind of, it turned me off. It really turned me off, because the Pandora's box that is talked about on the cue boards is absolutely not Mike Gill's information. Okay. The thing about Dave and myself is I'll go from the cue boards. I won't go from any other layout. I won't go from Flynn's reawakening to her reawakening. Okay. People in this country have never been awake. Not like they are today. Okay. So why are you calling it a reawakening? Okay. So I got my opinions about Mike Flynn. I got my opinions about, the Flynn network. Okay. And I have some serious doubts as a Marine, okay, I have serious doubts about the agenda of Mike Flynn. Okay. And one of the other things is his constant talk about, every interview that he's done, he's brought up an assassination of Trump. Every single one. Okay. And it's almost like given words or given orders that, it needs to be done kind of thing, instead of, I'm going to do everything that I can in order to help protect Donald Trump to make sure that he isn't assassination, or isn't assassinated. Okay. And then the fact that Mike Gill says that Donald Trump took a deal. I believe that in a certain facet that Donald Trump did take a deal when Admiral Rogers went and met with him. I believe that Donald Trump took a deal was that we're gonna get you in and we're gonna protect you, was the deal. And you're gonna help us clean this whole mess out. And I think Donald Trump said, yes, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna help you clean up this mess. Why? Because I love my country. He's the only one that has shown me his love for the United States of America. Everybody else, okay, that has been put in our face, it boils down to how much money they can make. I believe that if there was no financial gain for these people, okay, that there would be, it would be hushed. And they would just go about their business and not be in any way out there in the public. Okay. But these people are being attacked from every angle now. Okay. You think about all of the little podcasters like myself. Okay. Slow Country, Independent Many is another good one. Now she's not a Trump supporter. Okay. But she's right down the middle. She looks at both sides of things. She takes that information and she weighs it and she makes a decision based upon that. Okay. So I don't fault her for not being a Republican. I don't fault her for not being a Democrat or not being able to choose. I don't fault her. Okay. Because she's looking at it from a different perspective. Everybody's looking at things from different perspectives. Okay. So you got 3 different viewpoints. Okay. And then you add Dave into the mix, who only goes by the cue board. Only goes by the cue board. The things that we need to pay attention to are not guys like Mike Gill. Okay. They are, in fact, the things that we're looking at every day. The situation with the border, the situation with the medical, the situation with the energy, the situation with, the possibility of UN troops being on our soil, the possibility of, we should be concerned about how good our military is and what their readiness is, that about parents and child trafficking, okay, and school grooming. Okay, so when we look at all this and we put ourselves into a position where we're corroborating, correlating, and condensing all the information, that is necessary in order for people to make an informed decision. An informed decision. about anything, whether it's about laws that our representatives are getting ready to bring to the floor or to vote on. We should be on the phone calling our representatives saying, listen, I'm telling you now, if you're voting for this or voting against it based upon whether it's going to hurt your community, understand you're about to lose a vote. You're about to lose support. Okay. And in doing so, what we're doing is we're gathering this information and we're making moves in our own lives according to looking at every perspective that we possibly can to safely secure our homes and our families, okay, safely secure proper food, safely, procure fuel that isn't costing us arms and legs to get, to focus on the changes necessary to things like property tax and how they've been taxing us to death, to know exactly where in the fuck all this Social Security money that we've paid in, because most of us will never, ever live to see a penny of it. Okay, why are we paying into Social Security if it's not going to be there when it's time for us? Okay, why should I be giving you money, when I'm never going to see a dime back from it? No different than half of the taxes that they hit us with. All of these things, these are all things that we all look at that we're living with, but nobody's focused on that. Everybody's focused on the sensationalism. Okay. And that's, to me, is what Mike Gill is. It's a sensational story. Okay. That's come about over 17 years. Okay. It's the fact of the matter is hasn't the statute of limitations on that type of fraud been already passed? Okay. And we're not getting any other side of the story. We're only getting Mike's side of the story. So we don't have anybody. So it's not like a debate where we have two people saying, well, this, and the other person saying, no, because and, and it's up to the people to decide. We're paying attention to these, to these so-called whistleblowers. Okay. Well, the thing is if your story's been out there for 17 years and nothing's fucking been done about it, what makes you think that right now that you have the thing that's going to end it all? Okay. Because if I go by what Q said, we already have it all. We already have it all. Mike doesn't even want to hear about Q. Okay, I see Michelle bring up a couple of Q posts periodically and stuff, talking about Ariel and all these big names there on X. Okay, I don't follow Ariel anymore. Okay, there's too many wishy-washy things going back and forth. Okay, and I don't care for it. Okay, I don't care for, honestly, I don't care about anybody really going after somebody. Okay. But at the same time, I look at the overall situation and I have to say, where Gill is concerned, okay, he might be right about General Flynn. Okay. Because I have my own personal doubts about Flynn. Okay. And then, but the fact of the matter is, he goes on there with this matter of fact that I'm right and every other podcaster is wrong. Okay. Well, Dave tried to get the answers. Okay. Dave tried to present him with different information, different way to look at things. And Mike wasn't having it. He wasn't having it. Okay. So they trashed Dave. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that we as smaller podcasters don't have our quirks that can be annoying and everything else. Okay. What I'm saying is that for all the years that Dave did with Todd and Cindy, there was no financial push whatsoever. Okay. There were a couple of devices and things that they introduced people to. Whether there was compensation for that, I don't know. Because in a way, I have to look at it and say, okay, well, Lightning Springs Ranch. Okay. Well, you guys know dang well that I don't take anything from them. You guys get to take from them. That's why we have the drawings. You guys get to the reward of being involved with a meat grass-fed ranch and who gets their own stuff processed and ships it directly to your door. Okay. You guys are the ones who benefit for that. We all as a collective, we benefit because he comes on and he gives us updates and information in regards to certain things going on in the industry, and it's, it's kind of a thing where, it's the communities who benefits from it. I don't personally benefit from it. You guys do. And that's the way that things should be done is that if we're going to do things, then let's do things that are actually going to benefit our collective of people, now I do take donations because I run on a generator. And you guys helped me with the gas. And by the way, I got gas yesterday or last night. I finally got gas. So we're good for a while. We'll be able to do some longer shows this week without a hitch. And you guys help with the dogs. And I love you for it. And I thank you for that, but it's like, it's not, you don't have to. You don't have to, if you want to, that's great. If you don't, that's fine too. I'm not going to change my content and I'm not going to change the way that I talk to you because of that, Shanna, you're right. It's absolutely, she says, it's absolutely wrong. How people are doing Dave. How dare someone act as if he doesn't deserve donations? He has to live too. How dare we take people's time and not do what we can for each other? Well, that's the thing, is that it's, when people go and they do interviews with these people, right? It takes a lot of research and a lot of time in order to put these things together. Okay. To get, some compensation for that is always a benefit. It is. But at the same time, yes, I did Slow Country. But at the same time, it's not cool to do like what introduce people to companies and direct people to a company that's going to literally steal everything from you. That's wrong. This Goldco and Gold Quiz, whatever. Okay. These people have stolen people's 401ks and retirements. Okay. That's wrong. That's wrong. And you don't get anything physical for it. If you want to go and buy a couple of ounces of silver, or maybe buy an ounce of gold, if you got that kind of money to buy an ounce of gold, then go down to your, go to someplace like JM Bullion or SD Bullion. There's a couple other ones too that you can, you can go online and you can order, a couple ounces of gold or a couple ounces of silver, and stock it away, because if the dollar does crash and you don't have the means to pay for something. It's no, go ahead. It's to be able to buy food with some silver, be able to buy fuel with some silver, until the dollar situation is taken care of, right? Nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody should have, a couple of silver coins in their drawers. So in case of an emergency, what the value of it is. You can look online to see what the value of it is. So when you go into a store, you can get equal value for food, or you can get equal value for gas, or whatever. Bartering and trading is what this country was originally built on. It's Parkside says, or IQD, you can get 100K for $100. And if the value goes up, when the revaluation happens. And the thing is we're going to be the last to know about it. Every other country is going to know about it before we do, because Forex doesn't want to do business with the IQD. So we're gonna be like the last to know it. That's going to be crazy. But I'm looking forward to it, because I'll be able to get some things that I'm lacking here, if that happens. So, but so that's pretty much my opinion. To me, I don't think Dave did anything wrong. I think that it was 100%. For them to try and do a hit piece on him is wrong. I think Dave came with receipts, and covered that information pretty well. I basically tried to keep my own personal opinions out of it, but I've known Dave for years. This guy, Mike Gill, I've known about him for a couple of months. I don't know crap about him other than what he spewed, and what I could find in newspaper articles and things like that. Do I trust him? No. I don't. I don't trust him. It's but that's my right to do that. It's my motto: you do you. Just leave me out of it. Yep. So, all right, let's get back to our stuff here. Lib to TikTok says, "Wow, insanely powerful speech by superintendent of Cobb schools speaking against pornographic books in schools."
The district had a legal and moral obligation to keep students safe when their parents entrust them to us during the day. This includes protecting them from exposure to sexually explicit, obscene, pornographic, vulgar, and lewd material. The law has long held that the unique custodial and instructional mission of schools explicitly imposed this obligation. In 1986, the United States Supreme Court supported a school district disciplining a high school student for using lewd and vulgar language during a speech at school, declaring, quote, "Vulgar, lewd speech and lewd conduct is wholly inconsistent with the fundamental values of a public school education," end quote. Despite what politicians and social media are saying, this has consistently been the law in this state for over 50 years. The radical new idea is not that schools have an obligation to protect students, but the radical new idea is that all children should somehow be forced to encounter sexually explicit language and instruction while at school, an assertion that less than 5 years ago would have seemed ridiculous and dangerous, and one that the vast majority of educators and parents continue to find ridiculous and dangerous. I am also aware that those promoting this radical new idea that children should be exposed to lewd, vulgar, and sexually explicit material are contending this removal somehow violates our board policy on book reviews. That is also not true. Yes, we have a policy for parents to challenge materials they believe are inappropriate. However, as professional educators, we have an independent professional obligation to protect students from lewd and vulgar materials, regardless of whether any parent, group, or outside entity files a complaint. It is both legally recognized and completely independent of our processes for handling parental or external complaints. As I previously stated, in this instance, when the district was made aware of inappropriate content contained in 2 books, we conducted a review of both books. That review demonstrated conclusively that the degree of sexually explicit, obscene, vulgar, and/or lewd material in these books required them to be removed immediately. As superintendent, my professional obligation to protect our students is independent of anyone else's. As superintendent, after I knew what was in these books, I could not attempt to shift responsibility. To do my job and execute I could not attempt to shift responsibility to other district employees or hide behind an allegation that, well, no parent has complained. My hands are tied. As the superintendent of the Cobb County School District, it is not usurping the board's authority to do my job and execute my professional and moral obligation to protect Cobb's students from being exposed to vulgar, lewd, sexually explicit, obscene, and pornographic material. So if you need someone to blame for deciding to remove the books Flamer and Me, Earl and the Dying Girl, you can blame me. I, as superintendent, will not knowingly allow children in the Cobb County School District to access lewd, vulgar, sexually explicit, obscene, or pornographic material. Let me be very clear. Anyone working in education who knowingly provides students with access to sexually explicit, obscene, or pornographic material should not be in a position of educating other parents' children. I want to be very clear in closing. This situation is not over. This situation is not about politics. This situation is not about faith-based or religious beliefs. This situation is about right and wrong, good and evil. The sexualization of children can never be defended nor allowed in any context, especially in education. There is no middle ground in this situation. There is no room to flip-flop on where you stand. You are either in favor of providing inappropriate material to children, or you are against it. And I assure you, I am against it, and I will not be moved.
Yeah, we shall not be moved. Yep. Red Pill Drifter says, Sylvia Beachy, whistleblower, exposing foster care as human trafficking and abuse operation. Foster care whistleblower on government involvement in child trafficking and abuse. Let's take a listen.
As a caseworker, I had these quotas, and we were told that if we didn't bring kids in, then we would be fired. And the way that the funding is set up is that they have to reach a quota.
Is there anything stopping them from grabbing anyone's child to meet that quota?
No, because there's really not any oversight. It's basically the caseworker that determines that need. And you're encouraged to do this because you're going to get more money for more behaviors. So your base child, you're not going to get as much for. But a child that is defiant, a runner, self-harms, you're going to get more for. The way that works is they give the foster parent $65 a day. But if you have a foster parent that knows the system, she would say, that child's behavior is too much. I'm not dealing with that child. You're going to have to give me $75 a day or $100 a day. And you're literally negotiating these rates. So they were diagnosed with oppositional defiant disorder, and then they're placed on psychotropic medication. What this psychotropic medication does is it actually causes them to be more aggressive and more suicidal.
Yeah. And it's been going on for years and years and years. It needs to end. U.S. debt clock decode 51924. Real Visa's fake money. May rocks.
Hey guys! We got a new US Debt Clock message. Today is Sunday, May 19th, 2024. They posted it at noon again today, Eastern Time. This is my sister, Mikkel. I finally get to see her and introduce her. She is an admin on my Existential Gateway Telegram channels. For those of you who have seen her post, this is her, Mikkel. Say hello.
Hi.
I'll come back to her in a minute, but we're going to go over the Debt Clock message. It says real versus fake money. We've seen a lot of this before. They've got a gold certificate. We've seen it before with Kennedy on it. It says U.S. Treasury asset-backed certificate. It's real money, not artificial, fraudulent, or illusory. It's genuine. It says debt-free currency, payable to the bearer on demand. Again, we've seen all this before. We've got the Kennedy half dollar right here, and the seal right there. That says the USA Department of the Treasury, 1776. Down here, we've got Federal Reserve debt interest note, fake money, not federal, debt as reserves. It says a worthless imitation passed off as genuine, made to look real or valuable in order to deceive people, not true, real, or authentic, counterfeit. We also have Thomas X here at the bottom. We've kind of went over that after Thomas Massie posted that poll to end the Fed, and now we're suspecting that Thomas Massie is Thomas X because of how suspicious it was that he posted that post the same day. It was just really odd. Okay. So now we've got the end the Fed bill, and I posted another post just kind of explaining what to expect from that, because I'm thinking it's putting Biden in a corner, especially with all the stuff going on with elections and the debates. And a lot of you guys don't have that much trust that anything's going to happen with this bill, but I want to let you guys know that the time is perfect right now because the whole world, especially with BRICS, they're all going asset backed. Trade is becoming difficult with the US because none of the other countries want our dollar that is not backed by anything valuable. And in order to be competitive with the rest of the world, the US has to change our currency. Like there's no other way around it. We can't just continue down this route. And the Federal Reserve has to be abolished. It has to be. The reset is coming, you guys. And in order for the US to be competitive with the rest of the world, this has to happen. We can't continue down this route. So it's imminent. So anyway, there's not really much else to decode with this. It's pretty self-explanatory. We've seen a lot of this before. So you guys, it's pretty much repetitive. But that's all I have for you on the Debt Clock. Now I'm going to let you guys get to know my sister a little bit. Again, her name is Mikkel. I'm Megan.
And we are not twins.
We're not twins. She is my big sister.
Damn right.
We're 2 years apart, where I'm not telling you our age. But I am the youngest in the family, and she is the second.
And the fourth.
She's the fourth. We've got 5 siblings. Yeah, but everybody thought we were twins growing up. But she's a more Hispanic version of myself because
I have the brown eyes.
My dad's Hispanic and I take after my mom. So, but anyway, just to get to know her a little bit, she is more of the book reader. She loves knowledge. She loves philosophy.
I do.
Yeah. So what kind of books do you like to read normally?
Well, let's just kind of, I tried videoing. I tried recording a video of my own to kind of give you guys my origin, but my journey started 6 years ago while I was reading a book called The Expected One by Kathleen McGowan, which opened my eyes to new possibilities of what knowledge is out there. And that is what started my quest. So it has been and is still an ongoing journey. You never stop being a student, but the knowledge that is available out there for those who want it and seek it and are hungry for it is limitless. And there's so much out there. But it's contingent on what your spirit is hungry for. So I also kind of it includes having you be in tune to your inner essence to kind of guide you down that road. But I could probably go a little bit into that or into my story a little bit in my own little video. I tried recording it, but the sound didn't work, so I'm gonna have to try it again. It's my very first time. So we'll see. But that is my story in a teeny tiny little nutshell.
So yeah, she's gonna start doing some content on TikTok, and we'll probably post some on my Existential Gateway Telegram channel, just to get her platform started. So here is her handle. It's at Mikelle, MIKELLESK on TikTok. If you guys would like to follow her, go follow her there. She is a wealth of knowledge. Like I said, she's the reader. I'm more of the conspiracy theorist. And what kind of content will you be posting on TikTok?
Probably a little bit more about my story and where my journey started and what books I read to feed the knowledge I was hungry for, or that kind of stuff.
It's really different every day because she reads so much that whatever's speaking to her that day, she will post on. She posted in my Telegram channel, just quotes and things that she that speak to her that day. She'll post it, but
if something resonates with me, then I'll share it. I don't like to share if I'm not inspired to do so. I kind of feel it's empty that way. So I mean, I guess it just kind of depends how much content I put out there and how inspired I am to do so. So I hope you are interested or curious even. And I look forward to hearing from you.
So anyway, that's all we have for you guys today. And we'll see you on the next Dead Clock Message on Wednesday.
All right. That was a whole lot of extra. I let it play, though, because I play her content all the time. So I got to be respectful, Truth. Can anyone relate? Okay. Here's a couple of giggles for you.
Nobody came to our athletic practices. Nobody brought sliced oranges. And certainly no one was arranging a play date for us. Here's how my mama arranged a play date. At 8 o'clock in the morning, my mama would say, y'all go outside and play. Boom, she'd lock the door. We were outside all day. We didn't have anything to eat. We didn't have anything to drink. We didn't have a juice box or any goldfish crackers. We were thirsty. We drank out of where? We're never going out of business, y'all. And what were we doing in the yard all day? Well, we were trying to kill each other. We had rock fights. We had dirt clod fights. We had green pine cone fights. And we had BB gun fights, right? We were shooting each other with BB guns on purpose. Our parents knew it and no one cared. They bought the BBs. On special occasions, they would buy Roman candles for Roman candle wars and bottle rockets for bottle rocket wars. All my dad ever said was, don't shoot each other directly in the eye. Someday you may have to have an MRI. That's all he ever said. That's all he ever said. We made Evel Knievel bike ramps out of plywood, nails sticking up out of it. Nobody wore a helmet, right? Nobody wore a helmet. At some point, my mom would say, hey, I'll give y'all some money for candy if you'll bring me back some cigarettes. Exactly. I would ride my banana seat, purple bike, sparkly seat, go down to the golden pantry, and I'd walk in there and I'd say, I'd like to buy 3 cartons of Merit Menthol 100 Ultra Lights, please. And they would sell them to me. And then at some point they changed the rule. You had to have a note from your parent. So my mom just wrote the note that just said, Dear store, sell my child cigarettes, love mom. That was it. So she would give us the money. She would like slide it under the screen door. She would not let us back in. She was inside watching Dark Shadows. We were not in there. Barnabas Collins, we are not going inside there. So we would take the money, leave our yard without an adult, without a helmet, without any supervision whatsoever. And we would drive or walk for miles and miles and miles. And we would finally get down to the candy store.
Okay. It's just truth. It's just a whole bunch of truth. And gasoline. Cigarettes were 21 cents a pack, and gasoline was 19 cents a gallon. Cigarettes, gas, and a Snickers bar. Or an ice cream, whichever. Yeah. It's, yep. All right. Everything that we've been taught is pretty much opposite. Yeah, pretty much. Yep, here we go.
It's a wild time living in Bizarro World, where round is totally flat and flat is somehow round, where water is space and space is actually water, where fiction is truth and truth is fiction, where mountains are giant and giants are mountains, where up is down and down is somehow up, where schools look like prisons and prisons look like schools, where good is bad and bad is somehow good, where cartoons are real and real are cartoons, where aliens are actually demons and demons are the disembodied spirits of giants, where this is man-made and man-made is this, where stars are actually real close and God's not too far. Like I said, it's a wild ride living in Bizarro World, but once you get your bearings about you, it's not too bad. Oh, and of course, this is entertainment purposes only. Of course, this is curving at a rate of 8 inches per mile squared, even though this is 60 miles completely flat. Yeah, of course. And if you want to learn more about that ball that's clearly curving, go to that website, get this app, and use my code when you sign up. Have a good day.
All I can say is, yep, that's it. That's all I can say. Yeah. Organization of Pennsylvania awarded nearly $300,000 in grants to small businesses. The qualification for receiving a grant is that you can't be white. Oh boy.
Diverse Erie is awarding many grants to small businesses. As a representative says, they are the backbone of the economy. An investment of over $290,000 to BIPOC businesses is being done by Diverse Erie. These businesses range from transportation to childcare to housing development.
The small business is the backbone of our economy. We realized that BIPOC businesses were impacted and affected at a higher level than other businesses. So we decided that it would be really to our benefit to help these small businesses not only grow but thrive.
Lee says these grants will help take the small businesses to the next level.
We're hoping that they're going to be able to hire more individuals, increase their revenues, and really stay around in Erie County and help Erie County grow for all people.
Staff of 2 businesses that we spoke with say they will use these funds towards expansion and improvement.
We received $15,000 from the grant. We are a catering company with a commissary kitchen, and we will be expanding that to a brick and mortar.
The general manager of a local supermarket says they received a grant of $20,000.
We've been in business for the last 7 years, and we've been making a lot of improvements, and this is just the beginning of our business. There's a lot of plans in the works, and with this grant, we plan on further developing.
An Erie County Council member says this initiative is important because Erie has faced many obstacles in community business.
We've suffered redlining. We've had disinvestment in our communities. We just haven't been given always even a fair shake. It's always been a lack of funding or financing. It's always been a stumbling block to building generational wealth in BIPOC communities.
Horton says he is looking forward to the work that is left to be done, and he is continually looking for ways to fund it through the county. Jen.
Yeah. Wow. Really? Hang on, I'll be over there in a second. All right, here's the
Guess
blob
what?
news.
Our little blob made it to Newsweek, along with my video where I showed you how NASA satellite images block out an area where the blob appeared, as well as a strange antenna pattern that seems to be embedded in the ocean floor, northwest of our mysterious Bouvet Island that has no name on Google Earth unless you enter it, and often seems to be the origin point of the blob. I had posted about bizarre cloud anomalies over Bouvet Island, and then posted when I learned that these are a rare cloud occurrence called von Karman vortex streets. Well, I decided to go back in time, and when I reached February 2019, I found something truly astonishing. This is February 14th at 2 a.m. and this is 5 a.m. This does not look natural. It doesn't look like organic, blobby weather. These seem to be parallel lines of activity, spaced evenly. They fade away. And when I went to look up weather for 2019, lo and behold, I discovered Calgary had one of the coldest winters on record. Yet the Earth's oceans had one of the warmest Februaries on record, in particular off the coast of South Africa. Here's where it gets freaky. Someone wrote to me suggesting I look at the time lapse of Bouvet Island on Google Earth. Watch what happens when our lovely little island gets to 2017. Poof! Gone. It's blued out. But here's the thing. It's not just blued out for a little bit. It's blued out for 6 years. Why is our little island blued out for 6 years? If the blob interests you, check out my entire playlist on the blob. See you in the comments. Take care.
The blob. Yeah. Funny how these things are coming up with the names of movies that we watched. You guys remember that New York District Attorney, Sandra Dorley, who refused to pull over for a police officer? Well, she finally issued an apology.
Body cam footage of what's usually a routine traffic stop. A driver pulled over for speeding. But this driver happened to be a district attorney, and she didn't stop for the cop. She kept driving till she got home. And now that the video is out, she admits she was stupid.
There is outrage today over the actions of a district attorney who refused to stop when a cop pulled her over for speeding. Instead, she drove home and sounded incredulous that she was even being questioned.
Sorry, I'm the DA. I was going 55 coming home from work.
55 and a 35.
I don't really care.
District Attorney Sandra Dorley of Monroe County, New York, gets the police chief on the phone to try and intervene on her behalf as her nasty tone continues.
I'm telling you why I stopped you. You didn't stop at all. Did you not hear my lights or sirens or anything?
No, I didn't actually. I was on the phone.
Why are you so upset at me?
I
I'm doing
didn't
my
hear
job.
the lights
The
either.
officer sure sounds patient.
Can you stay over here, ma'am? This is a traffic. This is illegal.
She passes the phone with the chief on it to the officer.
Ma'am, this is legal traffic stop. Can you please stay over here?
She's had enough and goes inside her house.
I understand the law better than you. Get out of my house.
Can you please go to the back of the vehicle?
I'm not going to.
She curses at him.
You're being.
How am I being in?
Pretty soon, reinforcement arrives. Today, DA Dorley is apologizing.
What I did was wrong, no excuses. I take full responsibility for my actions.
In her recorded statement, she blames her behavior on a tough workday and her husband's health issues.
I've been humbled by my own stupidity, and I'm fully to blame. I will make this right. I ask for your forgiveness.
Well, why don't you suspend your own license for a year? Because that's about what they do to anybody else, right? Suspend their license for a year. You know, suspend your license for a year. And no, you can't have a city compensated driver. You know, because we would, you know, we wouldn't be able to have the city cover us, right? Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. Who is waiting for pro-Palestine protesters to try it in a small town?
United States of America, most powerful country on this planet. And it's not because we have more money or we're better looking. No. It's because we have something in this country they don't have in other countries. That's right. I'm talking about rednecks. Good old boys with an arsenal in their basement that have been waiting for just such an occasion since 1775. Oh, believe me, foreign troops land in the South, there'll be a line of pickup trucks and NASCARs heading down I-95. Marines will show up 3 hours later, nothing but beer cans and shotgun shells. What the hell happened here? War's over, baby! Hey. United States.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wendy Patterson says his son-in-law sells CRT and gay porn books to school administrations. Oh, yeah. You're looking at the most repulsive, corrupt, unprincipled, traitorous fraud of an attorney general in American history. He directed his entire deranged and politically motivated war against Trump and his supporters. This treacherous monster needs to burn in hell for eternity. Yeah. 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 All right. The truth is being shown to you on purpose. In other words, I believe this is intentional messaging, public declass and exposure, if you will. Remember when Barack said he would like to sit in his basement and use an earpiece to have a secret third term? They showed you that. And more.
Can she see me yet?
I can.
This is pretty cool technology you got here. So let me try to. We're playing footsies. We should have done this in outer space. We could have both been sitting on like Neptune in a bubble.
Let me point out a couple of things here real quick. Notice absolutely no Secret Service whatsoever. Absolutely no security around him whatsoever.
Not at the moment. Not at the moment.
Yeah, just weird stuff. Yeah. All right. ever wonder how much they paid to sell their soul? They get paid to sell their souls.
Come watch with me as we wipe the floor with a biblically illiterate congressperson.
It's pretty clear it was the covenant that God made with Abraham. And that covenant was real clear. If you bless Israel, I will bless you. If you curse Israel, I will curse you. Do you consider that a serious issue? I mean, do you want Columbia University to be cursed by God of the Bible?
At this time, there has been... We bless Israel. We bless Israel. Those who bless Israel shall be blessed. We stand...
As a follower and huge fan of what Jesus taught, it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts when these people use scripture because they're idiots. So this dingbat, let's talk about the scripture he brought up. Genesis 12:3, I will bless those who bless you, and him that dishonors you, I will curse. Oh, it says pretty clearly we must protect Israel because clearly God was talking about our current geopolitical issues. So this is Abraham. Abraham begat Isaac. Isaac begat Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel in the Bible. Through Jacob, we got the 12 tribes of Israel. Oh, that's really interesting. Judah is one of the tribes of Israel. In the same way that Jesus technically was not a Christian because Christianity wasn't around when he was, Abraham is not a Zionist Jew or a Jew. In fact, the tribe of Judah is 3 generations separated from Israel. You want to know what did come from Abraham, though? All the Abrahamic religions, Christians, Jews, and Muslims. So try this one out, Senator. I will bless those who bless you, and him that dishonors you, I'll curse. Could that be talking about this group? But since they love quoting scripture so much, I would like to provide some more scripture. Beware false prophets who come in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they're ravenous wolves. You will know them by their fruits. Jesus throughout the Bible says, many will come in my name. Could it be these Christian cosplayers that truly don't even exhibit an ounce of Christianity? The fact that you think the Bible justifies the killing of men, women, and children? Yeah, I think I see the fruits. But what about the people that Jesus talked about that were cosplaying as Christians? Not everyone who says, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom. Yada, yada, yada. I will declare unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you who practice lawlessness. Killing of innocent men, women, and children. Lawlessness. I don't know. Or one of my personal favorites when Jesus is talking about children and says it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck and he cast into the sea than that he should offend one of these little ones. Interesting. And this is what drives me nuts is they truly think that God is blessing this. These Christian cosplayers wouldn't know Jesus Christ if he walked up to them and slapped them in the face. You have to be mentally and spiritually ill to think that God condones what's going on. Look at the state of our country. These senators have sold out the younger generations to line their own pockets. They are funding the killing of innocents. And yet they have the audacity to quote scripture as if God is behind this. It's mental illness.
I was speaking on that earlier. Yep. You know, just as a memory refresher, Isaac Cappy made this startling statement before his death. Oprah is a slave trader. Let that sink in. It's 100% true.
Oprah is a slave trader. Let that sink in. It's 100% true. Oprah Winfrey is a slave trader. Why do you think she has that school in South Africa? Why does she hang out with who she hangs out with? Oprah Winfrey is a slave trader. How is she a slave trader? Does the name John of God ring a bell? LeBron has a school too. You know what? LeBron does have a school too. And you know what? LeBron did seem a little bit incensed about a certain guy getting elected president, didn't he? And you know what? LeBron was pretty tied up with a lady by the name of Hillary Clinton. Guys, this is widespread industrial slavery, guys, of children. LeBron and Steph Curry both did hit pieces on Trump for CNN. By the way, I'll tell you this. I've had a number of whistleblowers. The NBA is corrupted big time by some dark influences, some really dark influences in the NBA. True story. True story. Holmes Seth was onto the global slave trade. That's why he's like, yeah, look what they did. Look what they did. Gabe Hoffman says he's getting the FBI on me. Good fucking luck, dude. Good luck. Do you know who knows everything about me? Do you know who knows how much work I've put in to this? The good guys. The guys that agree with me, like, we should get rid of slavery of children. Guys, this is like the Civil War all over again. Trump is like Abraham Lincoln, except instead of black people, it's children. Because these people trade children. They're very bad people. Your post on Jordan Peterson post was deleted. Of course it was. Guys, these people are running scared. They know the jig is up. They know, right? They've got to know at some level. They make me sick. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And you know what's even worse? Is that so many people will take a paycheck from slave traders, taking paychecks from slave traders.
Yep. Just so much of this stuff. Well, this didn't age well, did it? Never forget, Pelosi and Schumer speak against illegal immigration. Here we go.
While we need to address the issue of immigration and the challenge we have of undocumented people in our country, we certainly don't want any more coming in.
Illegal immigration is wrong, plain and simple. Until the American people are convinced that we will stop future flows of illegal immigration, we will make no progress on dealing with the millions of illegal immigrants who are here now and on rationalizing our system of legal immigration. When we use phrases like undocumented workers, we convey a message to the American people that their government is not serious about combating illegal immigration, which the American people overwhelmingly oppose. If you don't think it's illegal, you're not going to say it. I think it is illegal and wrong. People who enter the United States without our permission are illegal aliens, and illegal aliens should not be treated the same as people who entered the U.S. legally.
Yeah, that's not aging too well right now. Yeah, you think? Yeah. All right, Shipwreck. I got a couple of hers to play for you guys. Diddy responds to recently released video of him beating up his then girlfriend. He's so sorry.
P. Diddy has responded to the video that has surfaced of him beating the shit out of his ex-girlfriend, and it is exactly what you'd expect it to be.
So difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you gotta do that. I was fucked up. I mean, I hit rock bottom. But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy and go into rehab. I had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness.
Dude, because you ain't getting it. My brother in Christ, that video is from what, 2016? You're only sorry that you got caught and it got put out to the public. That's a classic PR statement right there. That's what that is. Damage control. Trying to be a better person, but you're being raided and you're being accused of having relations with underage people and forcing men to have relations with other men so you can video record them, and then use it as blackmail. If you were sorry that it happened, you wouldn't have paid off the hotel to keep that information under wraps. If you were sorry that it happened, then as soon as you started therapy, you would have put the video out and you would have broke it down, and you wouldn't have had to wait for CNN of all places to do it. You're not sorry that it happened. You're not sorry that you did it. You're sorry you got caught. Down with the music industry. Down with Hollywood. Fuck them all. Side note, how is it possible that at the beginning of the summer you get really sunburned that first time? Do you know what I'm saying? It hurts so bad, but you feel so great. Sun really is an antidepressant. Go get some.
Yeah, go get some. Get some. All right. Wall Street Babe says a well-known Miami Beach rabbi accused of sexually assaulting an 11-year-old girl gets off with 9 months probation.
Rabbi accused of sexually assaulting an 11-year-old girl taking a plea and facing his young victim in court. That deal includes a number of restrictions for the well-known rabbi from Miami Beach, but it wasn't enough for that young girl's mother. Local 10 News reporter Leanne Motorhone live now to tell us why.
Calvin, the alleged victim's mother was adamantly opposed to this deal from the start. She even appeared in the courtroom today with her daughter to beg the judge to reject it. That did not happen. And today we heard from that rabbi's attorney who said that his client was an innocent man who was vilified in the media and in the court of public opinion. No trial for Steve Caro, who was charged with lewd and lascivious conduct and molestation on a child. Instead, the rabbi pleads no contest to a lesser charge of battery, completes counseling and 9 months of probation, and has no contact with the alleged victim. Her mother now outraged.
I wanted him prosecuted as a sexual offender. God forbid it happened again to another child.
In April, Rabbi Steve Caro was arrested by Miami Beach police for allegedly touching the buttocks and body of an 11-year-old girl outside her clothes and kissing her neck. Caro admitting to touching her, but insisted there was no sexual intent.
Love, harmony, cleansing.
The state offered Caro a plea deal, citing a lack of evidence in the case.
I don't have the tools available that would be available in many other types of cases to convince a jury beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant's intention was sexual in nature.
The victim and her mother stood before the court asking the judge to reject the plea.
Please, Your Honor, let us see some justice in this case.
Judge Christina Miranda sided with the state.
Ultimately, the victims have a say in what they would like to have done, but the victims of a case do not have the ultimate decision.
After accepting the plea, Rabbi Caro slipped out silently, but his attorney had this to say.
What happened in this case has been so blown out of proportion.
I'm happy that we're able to give a closure to this and move forward in our lives.
Another wiener.
So bottom line is Rabbi Caro will be on probation for the next 9 months, will undergo counseling, is not allowed any contact with that alleged victim, and must also not have any unsupervised visits with minors. If he keeps up his end of the bargain after 9 months, this case will be dropped completely. Reporting live in Miami tonight, Leanne Morejon, Local 10 News.
Yep. So Miami, you got another predator in town, and they're just doing what they can to hide from you.
This is what it'll feel like when you start to exit.
I played this once before. I'm going to play it again. What it feels like when you begin to begin to exit the matrix. Take a listen.
This is what it'll feel like when you start to exit the matrix. When you know, you know. First, you'll have this aha moment where something shakes you to your core and wakes you up. And by waking up, I mean that you are no longer unaware, that something inside of you comes alive and activates your higher consciousness. From that point forward, there is no turning back. You'll then start to question everything you have ever thought to be true. Everything your parents taught you, everything society told you was true, everything you learned in school, everything you believe and why you believe it, the way you act and why you act that way, why certain things happened the way they did. Every single thing will come into question. This will lead you down a rabbit hole whereby you start to realize just how deep all of this programming goes and just how far you have strayed from your true authentic self. There begins your quest back to find yourself again, who you are and why you're here. This quest of self-discovery will go on for months, even years. We'll dive into books and podcasts and YouTube videos about spirituality and spiritual awakening, the cosmos and how it works, things that are metaphysical, different healing modalities and practices, and basically anything you can get your hands on to figure out what is happening to you and what your purpose is here on earth. You'll start to see through the illusions and realize that the systems that we're trapped in are systems of enslavement, that we were brought up to operate like machines instead of the human beings we were created to be. As you begin to think differently, have different preferences, and see the world through different lenses, you'll notice that the people that have been closest to you your whole life start to fall away. You will no longer resonate with them, and they will no longer resonate with you. You may even experience judgment and ostracization from your closest family and friends. This will send you into a period of isolation, whereby you start to spend more time alone. You start to reflect and connect with your higher self. You spend more time connecting with God, with nature, and in general, learning to be okay on your own. During this time of isolation, you will start to have big realizations about your life and how you got to where you are. You will start to see things from a zoomed out, bigger perspective, and start to realize that the things of the human world don't really matter as much as you used to think they did. You begin to detach from things like politics, religion, social media, sports, consumerism, material items. All of these things will just seem constrictive to you and less important. You begin to realize that things in the human world don't really matter as much, that the most important things are learning who you are and being able to live as your authentic self, connecting with your creator, and living a fulfilling life. And finally, you begin to realize that this is all just a game, that we are living inside of a matrix, just like the movies. There's no coincidence that those movies have tons of hidden spiritual messages. And you begin to realize that if this is all just a game and my soul is here to learn a lesson, then what am I here to do and how will I make an impact? You'll realize that your purpose here and your mission here on earth are so much bigger than going to a 9-to-5 job and making a living, that you're here to be, you're here to spread love and light to the planet and to be of service. The Matrix is the system of programming and enslavement that we are here to escape. And it has already begun. You will be the ones to break free. Love you.
Yep. And we've all experienced all that stuff, right? Broke it down pretty good, huh? You know, even the part where we're isolated and really spend time with ourselves and getting a, getting a good look at things, Catcher says, LOL, let me explain the case more simply. Cohen and Stormy are in cahoots and shook down Trump and split the money.
On Blanche and Michael Cohen. So you only gave him $20,000 and you took $30,000. Blanche, you stole from the Trump organization, right? Cohen says, yes, sir. Blanche goes on later on. He says, you did steal from the Trump organization based upon the expected reimbursement, correct? And he says, yes, sir. So again, that is breaking it out because essentially they walked through what it is that Michael Cohen actually paid Renfridge. And this goes back to, Jose, what you were just talking about, in this brown paper bag, all cash. He came to the Trump organization, an individual who worked for Renfridge, to collect this payment, $20,000, in which Michael Cohen paid out to this individual. The other $30,000 Michael Cohen kept to himself. Subsequently, why Todd Blanche is now saying, okay, so you stole from the Trump organization, correct? And Michael Cohen says, yes, correct. I believe Todd Blanche.
Yep. So not only is Michael Cohen a thief or a liar, but he's also a thief. Yep. Wendy Patterson says, breaking Joe Biden forgot that it was his party that banned books like Dr. Seuss and replaced them with gay porn books in elementary schools. Gay porn books sold to school administrators by Joe Biden's Attorney General Garland's son-in-law. Boy, everybody's talking about that today, isn't they? Yeah. There we go.
I never thought when I was graduating in 1968, as your honoree just was, we talked about, I never thought I'd be in a president at a time when there's a national effort to ban books, not to write history, but to erase history. They don't see you in the future of America, but they're wrong. To me, we make history, not erase it.
Yeah, buddy, you have erased about 100 years of history since you've been in office, and you've erased about 100 years of advancements that this country has made in just a few short years. Yeah. Anarchists in front of Harvard, including faculty, are screaming Intifada coming to America. This means civil uprising. Every single one of these anti-American freaks needs to be deported, sent to the country that they're supporting, and let them experience that life completely.
Intifada, Intifada, coming to America. Intifada, Intifada, coming to America. Intifada, Intifada, coming to America.
I'm not giving any more fake news to them. It's just so that you understood the context of it. Yep. Joe Rambo says, holy shite. There it is. Trump just told us again, are we going to be considered 2-term or 3-term? We are sort of having my second term right now, the pause, 45, 47. Yeah. He sure loves dropping truth bombs in the middle of his speeches.
But think of it. They're going to say wonderful. Now, he did that State of the Union the other day. He was high as a kite. Performance, they've never seen anything like it. Very much reminiscent of the days of FDR. You know, FDR had a beautiful patrician voice, magnificent voice, great debater, very smart man. You know, FDR, 16 years, almost 16 years. He was 4-term. I don't know. Are we going to be considered 3-term or 2-term? You tell me. Ronnie, what do you think? Are we 3-term or 2-term if we win? But think of it. They're going to say wonderful. Now, he did that State of the Union the other day. He was high as a kite. So I think we should call for drug tests on the debate. Yeah.
Yep. Brings a lot of things into question, doesn't it? Yep. Las Vegas. Which American-funded country do you think these tanks are headed to? Yeah. Good question. It's just outside of Las Vegas. Yeah. All right, Representative. Did Representative Gann Goldman advise Michael Cohen about stealing from the Trump Organization while Goldman is paying Judge Merchan's daughter to raise money for his campaign? That's a good question.
Finch. And Cohen confirms that he owed Red Finch $50,000 and never paid the full cash. Trump's attorney, Bland, says, you stole from the Trump Organization. Cohen says, yes, sir. He also confirms lying to Alan Weisselberg. I don't know how many that is on the list, but that's another prevarication. And Cohen says he never pleaded guilty to larceny. On they go. Blanche presses Cohen. You did steal from the Trump Organization based upon the expected reimbursement of Red Finch. And he says, yes, sir. So that's Finch. And Cohen can.
So that's a felony. You know, felony fraud. Yep. Mark Robinson is not holding back. Who thinks reparations should even be a thing? You know, we've seen this clip before, but I'll play it again.
Watch this man give the hard truth on reparations.
There are some people that were talking about reparations in this country. They wanted reparations. And I remember I made this particular liberal so angry at me because I told them right to their face, nobody owes you anything for slavery. If you want to tell the truth about it, it is you who owes. It's you who owes. Why do you owe? Because somebody in those fields took stripes for you. Somebody after those fields were ended and slavery was ended. Somebody had to walk through Jim Crow for you. Somebody fought wars and died for you. Somebody lived less than because they didn't have what you have, and they did it for you. There are people in their graves right now, and they are there because they were willing to stand up and fight for you. Those folks on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, carrying American flags, take that, Colin Kaepernick, living in a society that he could scarcely acknowledge, something that he has never known, living with a bigotry that none of us can imagine, carried American flags on that bridge. And when they were hit upside the head with nightsticks and shot with water hoses and knocked to the ground, they got up and picked those flags up and kept marching. And they did it for you. Nobody owes you anything. If anybody owes, it's you.
Because you've been the benefactor of freedom. You are the one that owes. And what do you owe? You owe it to them to get up off your tail and get to school. And when you get to school, you owe it to them to get up off your tail at school and get to work and get some learning in your head. And once you get that schooling in your head and get out of that school, you owe it to them to get to work. And then when you get to work and you get married, you owe it to them to take care of your children.
Yep. Simple. Simple and precise. Look out for Black MAGA or Black Lives MAGA.
We're here to address Governor Kathy Hochul. Now, who knows about Governor Kathy Hochul? What did she say about our Bronx kids? They don't know what a computer is, right? Well, we're here to tell them not only do they know what a computer is, they know what books are. Do everybody see this book?
What's the title?
Unfortunately, the mothers that I invited here couldn't be here today.
What's the title?
This title of this book that we have in our libraries here, the title is If You're a Drag Queen and You Know It.
Oh my God.
By Little Miss Hot Mess. So, if you're from the Bronx and you go to the Bronx Fordham Library Center, the biggest in the Bronx, or any of our libraries and in schools, make sure you guys, clergy, parents, and stakeholders, look out for these books because our children know what a computer is, but we don't want them to know what this is. Am I right? Hey, all right. You translate this. Okay. The reason we're all here is to support President Donald Trump. And I'm also the Assistant State Director of Blexit. Black Exit, the Democratic plantation mentality of thinking. And we're here to say that Black lives, Black lives, Black lives. Thank you very much, family. So we're calling out our Black misleadership today here in the Bronx. And we're getting so many people on the Trump train. But we're here to address Kathy Hochul. And since the Bronx is the bluest county in America, yet always the poorest county in America, we're making a few changes. Thanks to the Bronx Conservative Party, we have our first Republican elected in 40 years, thanks to the Bronx Conservative Party. I think we should get... And we're going to keep it going with Donald Trump. And now we have a little chant in the South Bronx. It's called Don't Vote Democrat. Don't vote Democrat. Don't vote Democrat. Don't vote Democrat. I'm District Leader Dion Powell of the 78th Pacific District with the Bronx County Conservative Party here to support Donald Trump. We'll see you at Cortona Park next week, Thursday. Thank you.
Yep. They're getting their act together. The veils come down for them. Yeah. All right. This is former federal prosecutor and current California State Representative Bill Asalee. I think that's how you pronounce his name. California is currently protecting illegal immigrant pedophiles who sexually assault American children from deportation.
Did you know that in the state of California, we actually protect pedophiles from deportation? That's right. Under sanctuary state policies, doesn't matter what crime you've committed, even if you've raped a child, you are protected from being deported in the state of California. We're going to change that next week. Next week, I'm bringing a bill to the floor, SB 2641. On Tuesday, we're going to take a vote. Every single elected official in the state of California is going to have a say on whether they support this policy or whether they're going to support reversing it and protecting our kids again. Stay tuned. Did you know that?
Yep. Well, we'll see what happens in California. This fool, this Bowman, yeah, black supremacist. Jamal Bowman just said he wants to institute DEI on a federal level and discriminate against hiring white teachers. Here we go.
So I think the federal government should incentivize the implementation of DEI in states and school districts across the country. And by doing more DEI, we mean a culturally responsive curriculum, that's rooted in BIPOC history, right, and culture, and the diversity of the human experience. But it also means recruiting diverse teachers into the classroom, which is a priority of mine because as a Black male teacher, I was one of part of 2% of teachers nationwide. That number might have gone down since COVID. And I knew my responsibility wasn't just as an educator. I knew it was as a mentor, a role model, a father figure, because I grew up also without my father being present in the home. And I know how being around adult males, I know how that impacted me as a kid. And so to have them in classrooms with our kids is vital. And it's not just vital for Black kids to have Black teachers. It's vital for all kids to have diverse teachers.
Yeah, he's another one I definitely do not trust. All right. I am yes, you are no. Claims whites are the most violent and oppressive people, points out the statistics. Oh, no, not those statistics. You're racist.
You said whites are the most violent and oppressive people.
Well, yeah.
That's what you said in your film.
And if you're going to go back
so
to
that would seem to me that
statistics point that out too.
Really? Well,
yes.
The Chinese were massacring Chinese and other races long before they'd ever met a white person. Attila the Hun wasn't white. It's the same in the subcontinent if you go back hundreds of years as well. The genocide in Rwanda was black on black. So is the Congo, which is the rape capital of the world.
When it comes to education, the whole system needs to change.
But well, let me look at education. Let's look at the figures on education. 33% of white kids go to university or further education. 37% of Black kids go to university or further education. 67% of Indian kids go to university or further education. 76% of Chinese kids go to university or further education.
Oh, just totally dismantled her entire film in a very, very short couple of minutes. Yep. Robbie Starbuck says an illegal immigrant has been arrested in Campbell County, Virginia for raping a child. His name is Euder Pedro Javier Sakol Kal. How many children need to be raped and die before our politicians start mass deportations? Yeah. Whatever his name was. Yeah. Here's a feel-good moment for you.
Last game of the season, Coach Johnson decided to let Jason actually suit up. Not to play necessarily, just to let him feel what it's like to wear a jersey. At least that was the plan. But with 4 minutes to go in last week's game, Coach Johnson stood up and pointed to number 52, Jason McElwain. After years of fetching water and toweling off other people's sweat, Jason was actually in a game. His first shot was a 20-footer from the right baseline. Was it close? Did you almost make it?
I just airballed it.
I'm like, just, dear God, please, let's just get in the basket.
His second shot missed too, but the third was a charm. A 3-point no-doubter. And Jason wasn't done yet. Not by a long shot.
If I wasn't there to witness it, I wouldn't have believed it. You know,
you caught fire. It just caught fire. I was hot as a pistol.
Jason ended up shooting 6 3-pointers, one right after the other. He had 20 points total, and each time a shot went in, his teammates and the crowd went a little crazier. His last basket, right at the buzzer, created total mayhem. Because he is autistic, Jason says he's used to feeling different, but never this different. Never this wonderful.
Good story. We need good stories, you know? Yep. We need good stories. Yeah. All right. Grown man destroys pride sign at Target. Thoughts?
We're going to try to get the insert. Because Alex Jones says that there is no insert. There's nothing on it. So
It's disgusting. That's devil worship. That's devil worship. That's devil worship.
It's like a $10 sign. Yeah, I got that.
End it.
We're gonna try to get the insert.
Yeah. I'd have taken it out in a parking lot and set it on fire is what I'd have done. That's what I'd have done. But that's just me. All right. Ghetto, Crockett, clapback. These brainless liberals are just too easy. Give Lou follow on TikTok. Here we go.
I'm about to hurt some feelings. For those of you who don't know who this is Miss Jasmine Crockett. She acted all ghetto as fuck the other day during a congressional hearing. She tried to clap back to good old Marjorie Taylor Greene, saying that Marjorie Taylor Greene was a bleach blonde, bad-built, butch body woman. Now, this is from her ex account. And why is it that every single time the Democrat Party has the ability to prove that they're not fucking stupid, they prove they're fucking stupid? If you don't believe me, look at this shit. She says, so we are going to drop a Crockett clapback collection. Now, I'm not against anybody being successful, but what the fuck is this? You see, I see that you spelled every word correctly. Bleach, blonde, bad, built, butch, body. Yeah, those are spelled correctly. But how are you going to misspell your own fucking name? What the fuck is this? Croc. Crit. Clapback. Oh my, you can't even make this shit up. I mean, I get you wanting to bring smoke, but you can't even spell your own fucking name right. Diversity hire herself cannot even spell her own fucking name right on her own merch.
It is kind of funny. It is. It is. Thugs in Minneapolis attacking white people. This cannot be the new normal. Well, it appears that it is. All of them need to go to jail. The whole group of them. Idiots. Idiots, idiots, idiots. All right, Chanel Rion, here we go. Donovan should be joining us here shortly, and we'll be doing the drawing. Today is actually going to be a shorter day just because I've got 6 days in a row of rain coming. And today is like beautiful sunny out, and I got some work that I want to get done while it's sunny, and I'm able to get it done. And the days that it'll be raining, I'll be inside here with you guys doing longer podcasts because of that. So, I'm just waiting on Donovan to get here now. So, all right, here we go. Chanel Rion.
As the world settles into the fog of war and Iran tries to destroy Israel, Biden's out here mumbling about cannibals. And the question that at first arose out of comic curiosity arises now with pressing panic. Who is in charge of America right now? It sure isn't Creepy Joe or Tipsy Kamala. The guy responsible for all the war and destruction in the world right now is Biden's national security advisor, Jake Sullivan. He's calling the shots. Sullivan was Hillary Clinton's former deputy chief of staff. He rose through the ranks very quickly and became a core member of Obama's inner circle. Arguably, he is the actual manifestation of Obama's third term in the White House. The annual meeting of the world's most powerful people at Davos is usually attended by the president in his first term. But when Joe Biden was deemed too incapable of attending Davos, they didn't send Vice President Kamala, as is protocol. They sent Jake Sullivan. Sullivan has been called a once-in-a-generation talent. Hillary thought he'd be president one day. Joke's on her. He's the unelected president of the United States right now. And with his talent, he's ushered in World War III. But here he is, touting the success of his policies just last October.
The Middle East region is quieter today than it has been in 2 decades.
Jake Sullivan shouldn't just be fired. Given his track record in the last 12 years, he should be investigated for espionage and treason. What reasonable person, when faced with Iranian missiles targeting U.S. soldiers, stands up and suggests we should send our enemies billions of dollars in cash to solve the problem? Sullivan spearheaded Obama's Iran deal. He sent plane loads of cash to help Iran build their nuclear program. One of his first acts at the White House under Biden was to undo Trump's terrorist designation of Iran's top terror group, the Houthis. Sullivan oversaw the Afghanistan withdrawal. He oversaw the hiring of top Iranian sympathizers in top positions at the Pentagon and State Department. Sympathizers who were emailing Iranian officials as if they were their bosses. Ariane Tabatabai, Ali Vaez, Dina Esfandari, just to name a few. Sullivan put known Hamas sympathizer Rob Malley in charge of Iran talks. Malley's clearance has since been suspended. The only thing standing in the way of Iranian empowerment? Saudi Arabia. So that's why Biden called Saudi Arabia a pariah. The Saudis loved Trump. There was peace in the Middle East back then. But remember when Biden decided he did not want to be seen shaking hands with the Crown Prince? This was the moment Saudi Arabia and the Crown Prince took a giant step back from America. And now the Middle East is in more turmoil than it has been in 2 decades. Sullivan is now panicking. He's made a mistake. So he's flown all year back and forth to Saudi Arabia, and they laugh at him. Case in point, last week, the White House delicately admitted that they had to postpone Sullivan's 5th trip to Saudi Arabia in a year. The reality? The Saudis canceled. Saudi Arabia has always offered a balance against Iran in the Middle East. Trump understood this, but Jake Sullivan and Obama ticked them off and spit in their face. Jake Sullivan underestimated just how much this would actually backfire. So now the Saudis are showing the world what it is like to have no control over the Middle East. And now Sullivan is desperate to bring them back. And this is why Democrats cannot be in charge of the executive branch. At heart, they're all about food stamps and transgender rights. But the moment that they try their hand on actual foreign policy where real issues are on the line, they send in the Ivy League ivory tower lightweights, the head-heavy, muscle-light, pure theory Pollyannas with treason on their minds. Iran's biggest victory is not starting a war with Israel and the Western world. Their biggest victory is Jake Sullivan becoming the proxy president for the United States. For One America News, I'm Chanel Vian, and this is The Fine Point.
Yeah, I like her. She does such really good journalism. She does. Yeah, Kathleen Winchell shared this. This is Damon. Dang it, what is Damon's last name? Well, let's watch it.
His idea is to stay in until he drops dead.
I don't understand why people are not taking him seriously.
He was vicious to her.
He's vicious. And why will he not do that in this country?
Yeah.
It's what he wants, what he envisions the world to be, which is chaos and craziness, total craziness.
Well, Robert, Whoopi, I'm not sure if you ever listen to yourselves, because you're sitting here trying to persuade the public that you can read Trump's inner thoughts while you ignore the results of his actions, which included a better economy, lower taxes, and 4 years of peace around the world, all of which are gone under the current president. So I would say the total craziness that you're talking about is taking political advice from a panel of mentally ill hosts and a washed up Hollywood actor who have no idea what they're talking about.
Damon Imani is his name. He does good. He does good work. He does. All right. Australian politicians are running a brothel funded by the Australian people's tax money. Oh boy.
10 News First has obtained shocking images and videos of senior government staff, so-called conservatives, performing sex acts, not just inside the building, but on the desk of a female MP. Also tonight, an informant tells us about a room where MPs and staff regularly go for sex. And he also claims sex workers have been brought into the building. Our political editor, Peter Van Onselen, is breaking this story, and we must warn you, it contains explicit images and details. 10 News First has obtained shocking images and videos.
Yeah, they didn't go into it. But that just gives you a good gist of it, though, doesn't it? Yeah. Here we go. Conspiracy theorists are right again.
I got a tip from someone that what was behind the locked doors was the richest people in the world quietly buying all this farmland. Reid Hoffman, the founder of LinkedIn venture capitalist, Maureen Powell Jobs, the founder of the Emerson Collective and Steve Jobs' widow, Mark Andreessen of the Andreessen Horowitz venture capital firm. Just really a who's who of Silicon Valley was involved in this.
Something else surprising, within hours of Doherty's big scoop, this mysterious company launched a website and publicly identified itself as California Forever, an ambitious plan to build a brand new kind of city for as many as 400,000 residents.
We knew this would be controversial when we announced the project.
And this is the guy behind it.
I had a hunch that this was a really good place to do something like this.
Jan Tremik, a 37-year-old Czech-born former Goldman Sachs trader turned aspiring city builder.
Is out here?
Who has to try to convince the public that the project isn't just an oasis for billionaires or some high-tech city of the future.
So overnight would be a downtown?
His vision is to turn all of this into a walkable city in the mold of Savannah, Georgia, or Philadelphia, PA, or New York's West Village.
So if you are successful with this, how will this still be a place that middle-class people could even afford? By continuing to build for a long time. And so if we look at why places have become unaffordable, it's because they've just stopped building. Instead of taking all of these well-paying jobs that are being created in Northern California and sending them to Texas or Florida, let's create a place where we can send them to Solano County.
A place where our children's future can be bright. Walkable middle-class neighborhoods with homes we can afford.
The project's fate will ultimately be decided this November by the voters of Solano County, who have to decide whether or not to overturn a 3-decades-old law restricting where new development can go.
We're going to have total gridlock. You need to work on your soft skills. Don't insult us when you come to talk to us.
Jan Tremik's charm offensive has been met with, let's just say, a healthy amount of skepticism by many locals.
You're not going to answer that question because telling the truth is not in your nature. The true proposal is to build a city.
Yeah, volume on that. It's I hate that. I'm sorry. I couldn't make it go any higher. I've been living in New York City for 30 years and I've never seen this shit until now.
Señores, miren lo que es Nueva York. Miren lo que es Nueva York. Un muchacho del coñazo en medio de un highway. Subió encima del vaina.
Y son tres.
Mira.
El negocio cae, vamos a ver si Mario, al chofer.
People just riding on top of buses. Seen that in third world countries. Yep. Morehouse College graduates at Atlanta GA just turned their backs on Joe Biden as he spoke at their commencement. Yeah.
All hope was lost. In our lives, in the lives of the nation, we have those Saturdays to bear witness. The day before glory, all hope was lost.
Yeah, I don't blame them. I don't blame them. See. All right, here we go. This is Ian Carroll. Who's shocked?
AI just chose 4 new members for their board of directors. They could not have chosen a worse cast of characters. And there seems to be a pattern here. So yesterday they released this statement with their 4 new board members. First, we have Sue, the former CEO of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, also a board member of Pfizer. She's also a member of the President's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology. But for some reason, when the White House wanted to write her bio, they thought that her 2 most prominent positions at Pfizer and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation shouldn't be on this page. I wonder why. Even spicier, this one's hard to find. She's on the board of directors of this company called Resilience, which strangely also has the CEO of In-Q-Tel on it. In-Q-Tel is the investment company for the CIA. There are actually a number of people on this board of directors that have links to the CIA other than this dude. And this company I'm talking about, Resilience, is the company that manufactured all of the mRNA for the thing that Moderna gave to everyone. Kind of weird. Next up is Nicole Seligman. Nicole's famous for being the president of Sony Entertainment, you know, the company that had some beef with Michael Jackson that we've recently talked about. She also previously worked at Paramount. She's a lawyer, and she's represented some interesting people like Bill Clinton. And if you know the Iran-Contra scandal, she represented Oliver North in those trials. In this old article from the Washington Post, they talked about how, by all accounts, Seligman has won the trust and confidence of both President and Hillary Rodham Clinton. The First Lady thinks the world of her, says Mrs. Clinton's press secretary. Man, that's some high praise from a really great person. What a good endorsement. For those of you keeping track of how many Zionists are on the board of OpenAI, she's also Jewish. I believe that brings the total to 3 out of 7. Not totally sure if there's more or not. Because, you know, I can't think of anything better for Israel's public image than to have the AI that's giving everyone answers to their questions about the world, answers that are pro-Israel. And then we have Fiji, who is the CEO of Instacart, but she spent a decade working at high positions at Facebook. At the top, she was the head of the Facebook app. That's in addition to the Facebook executives already on the board, like Brett Taylor, who was the CTO, and he was the chairman of old Twitter when, you know, free speech was like totally good on Twitter. And we have Adam D'Angelo, who was high school friends with Mark Zuckerberg and the CTO of Facebook. So that's 3 former Facebook executives. And last but not least, the crown jewel, Larry Summers, former U.S. Secretary of the Treasury, former chief economist at the World Bank. He was heavily involved in repealing Glass-Steagall, which is what allowed banks to gamble with all of our money in the stock market and caused the crazy bubbles and the crazy crashes that we've seen since. He was instrumental in both setting the stage for the 2008 financial crisis, and then he was instrumental in the government allocation of our tax dollars to bail out his friends in the banks. I can't think of anyone that I would want farther away from the ethical development of AI than Larry Summers. As just one example of his high ethical standards, in the 90s, what's called the Summers Memo came out. A quote from it is, quote, "I think the economic logic behind dumping a load of toxic waste in the lowest wage country is impeccable, and we should face up to that." Meaning, I mean, it's really good business to dump all of our corporate toxic waste in poor countries because they can't do anything about it. And that's just good business, and we should face up to that, right? And then obviously Sam Altman is also back on the board, making a total of 7 people on the board of OpenAI. And I don't want any of them anywhere near the development of AI technology. Remember, Elon Musk is currently suing OpenAI for marketing themselves as an open source, ethical, nonprofit AI development company, and then transforming themselves into a closed source, unethical, for-profit AI development empire that is working to control the entire state of information on the internet. I mean, working to develop technology that will benefit everyone all around the world. I mean, just imagine when you don't even need to do research and look for information anymore because AI will tell you everything you need to know about what's real and what's not. It's going to be a brave new world soon. Just you wait.
Yeah, like I'm going to trust AI, like trusting beef coming in to your local grocery store. That's what I say. All right. Hey, young man, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm gonna get my camera on here, and because I got rid of the presentation thingy there, so I can crank that on. There we go. All right. So, guys, you know what time it is. Well, first off, give us some news. What's been going on this week?
Nothing much. We had kind of a short day today because it's been raining like crazy here. So I'm able to get on a little bit earlier, and so far so good.
Yeah,
all the cows are out. They're doing great. So the grass is looking great. You're getting a little bit of rain for it. So yeah.
And you turn the bulls loose too.
Yep, the bulls are out and about. They're out there going to work. So
that's
always a fun time of year. So
how many times a day you think they do it?
A lot. They say that this could be, I don't know if this is true, but I've heard that the main herd bull, the most dominant bull in the herd, he'll breed 80% of the cows. So, we got 200 cows. So that's a lot of cows to cover.
So guys, just think of it like this. If you think that your lack of nookie as a human is bad, pray you come back as a bull.
Yeah, you want to be a bull.
Because then you want to be a bull, and then you get all the heifers, you know what I'm saying? Just saying.
That's for sure. They each have about 25 cows. So, that's the ratio is one bull to 25 cows. So
right. Oh wow. Yeah. And if he gets 80% of the herd, man, them other guys are lacking.
Yeah, no kidding. Seriously.
Yeah. It's I saw you put up a story. I think you sent it out yesterday.
Yeah.
I did not get a chance to read it. Maybe you want to share that story with everybody else.
Sure. Yeah, sure. It's a pretty fun little story. It was just wintertime. The snow hadn't hit the ground yet, but it was plenty cold. And we were working on some stuff on Saturday where we got a call. My dad got a call from somebody who lives on one of the leases that we run cows on. And this lease is about 45 minutes away, up over this mountain. So and they said that we had a cow that was stuck in the mud at this pond. And it couldn't move, and they'd been watching it for a couple hours, and it was stuck, and it was doing, it couldn't move. So anyway, we got a winch and a bunch of ropes and all our mud boots and stuff, and we ran up there as fast as we could. And when we got there, we couldn't really find it, but luckily there was somebody camping that right there. So he pointed us in the right direction, and when we walked up on it, we realized that it was a cow, but it was a cow elk, not a beef cow. So through the grapevine, this camper had told the people who lived there that there was a cow that was stuck, but somebody forgot to tell us that it was an elk and not one of our cows. So we decided, since we were already there, we were going to help it out. And so I wandered out there into the middle of the pond up to my belly in this ice. I had to break some ice off the top to get to this elk. And I finally get out there to it, and I have a rope. I'm going to rope it and then drag it out. And just as I'm getting ready, it just jumps up and swims across the pond and gets right out. It got itself out just like that. So turns out it wasn't even stuck. So it was just kind of a
time.
Yeah, it was just taking a nice ice bath. So anyway, it was a good laugh. It was really cold. It was quite the adventure. Some people need to learn the difference between an elk and a cow. So
yeah. There is quite a big difference.
Yeah.
Wide, weight, everything. And often color.
Wild animal. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and often color. The colors are generally different too, especially for elk during the wintertime.
Yeah.
It's they get a darker. They get a much darker coating during the wintertime. And for those of you that don't know Donovan, Donovan's family owns the Lightning Springs Ranch, and he comes on quite often to give us updates what's going on in the meat industry, and lets us know what he does with his ranch and so on and so forth. How the family are doing, tells us stories about what's going on. We talk about prices, where they're headed. We talk about beef quality, whether grain fed, grass fed, whatever, and how that's reflecting in our stores. And it's very important for us to be very aware of what's going into our food supply these days, what we're feeding our families, what we're feeding our children, what we're feeding our animals. We have to be extremely cautious about everything. And today, we are doing the drawing for the second whole health bundle that the farm or the ranch has is donating to raffle off, I guess. Yeah, I guess it'd be a raffle, wouldn't it? Sort of.
Kind of just a giveaway. Yeah. A raffle, something they have to pay to buy tickets or something, but this is just free. This is just because we want to give back. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And guys, I try to tell this often. Auntie Wells had a conversation with the folks there at Lightning Springs Ranch and said to them, you guys should set up a donation box. And that's exactly what Donovan did. He set up a page here. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let's see. Let's go. All I have to do is put in the L and Lightning Springs Ranch comes up on my screen. That's pretty good. It's
same for me.
It's the only channel that I go to. But in their catalog here on their website, you'll see here they have the different prices and stuff. They have their Heal Burger, the American Family Bundle, Core Nutrients Bundle, gift cards, and then this here is called the Community Freezer. Okay, and we credit Auntie Wells with this. It was her idea, and they were able to expand on her idea. And basically what they say is we believe that getting essential nutrients from a pure source like our beef isn't just a luxury, but a necessity. We want as many people as possible to experience the difference that our grass-fed, grass-finished beef can make for their health and overall well-being, while at the same time providing food for people in need. Not everybody is financially able to have our beef shipped to their doorstep, but are in need of nutrient dense food, which is why we started Lightning Springs Ranch's Community Freezer. We have had many kind-hearted individuals asking if they could donate to help other people wanting to join the farm to table community. Get a bundle of beef. To make sure that your donations are actually going to people in need, we have set up an application process so we can vet potential candidates. As our commitment to help as many families get beef as possible, we will be sending out our beef purely at our cost. There are significant costs associated with producing and shipping beef across the country, so we need your donations to make this possible. And just as a bonus, your generous donations, we will put in an extra pound of ground beef per every $10 donated with your next order. Up to 5 extra pounds. We thank you all for making this possible and all your donations to help people in need. If you are in need of some beef, you can email us at lightningspringsranch@gmail.com and we can help you start the application process. And this is great because a lot of people right now really cannot afford, a lot of what's, half the time, this winter, we saw so many people in chat that were having problems with heat, that were having problems with getting gas for their vehicles, being able to buy groceries to feed their kids or their grandkids, and things have been very, very stringent and very tight. It's great when other people can go in, donate $5 to $10, or more, depending on based upon what you can afford. Go in, donate to the Community Freezer, and through their process, our viewers especially can go there, fill out an application to get some help and get one of these packages to bring some nutrient packed beef into your house and get it to families that just can't afford it. And I think that's great. Matthew, well, again, thank you for presenting that idea, because I that really shows how strong our community is in helping to take care of each other through this period of time that we're going through right now. And someday, just because you can't do anything today, there's going to come a time in our future here where things are going to turn around, and we'll all be helping our neighbors, our friends, and linking to that. Lisa Anderson, all you have to do is send an email to lightningspringsranch@gmail.com. and let them know that you'd like to fill out an application, and they'll send that out to you and everything, and you go from there.
Yep. It's not a super official application. We just kind of talk to you, figure out what your needs are, and if we can help you out. We've had everybody that we've donated beef to has been from this community, and they found us through you, Hawk. So anyway, that's a pretty good indication that it's not going to somebody who's, just trying to look for a free meal or something like that. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, and it's a great way to do things. I honestly, I would like to see more businesses do something like this, where these kind of things, fresh grown vegetables and fruits and things like that, I'd like to see, those kind of places that do ship have something like this that can be very, very positive, for the community. Because when we hear that one of our own has been taken care of, it makes you want to do it again, because of the fact that you know where your money's going. You know exactly where it's going. It's going to help, somebody who's actually in need, and not just going to somebody who, like you said, just wanted a free meal.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because there is a big difference. There really is. And the thing is we've been duped by so many different companies, throughout this whole process here from 2016 through now, and much farther beyond 2016. We could take this all the way back to the 1990s, where things were put out there, but it was primarily just something where, well, we're covering our costs, but we're giving it to our friend. In this case here, this is, these things are directly for you guys. And that's what, it's absolutely worth it. Yeah. Tammy, yes, you should. It's, I'll tell you, as a matter of fact, the last time he was on, I went out and actually cooked one of their ribeyes. And I'm going to tell you, I have bad teeth now, I haven't seen a dentist in years. And, so for chewing for me, the ribeye is just the most delectable. I can eat the whole thing and no tough parts. My mouth isn't hurting afterwards and everything else. Absolutely the best ribeye I've had probably in 13 or 14 years. And yeah, that's a
lot to live up to. We gotta make sure all of our ribeyes meet that standard.
It's now that and I gotta be honest. So when it came to the T-bone, I had a hard time.
It was a little tougher, huh?
Yeah, I had a hard time. It was and the dogs got the pleasure of that one. They don't mind. They don't mind when I make a mistake in getting the wrong thing. Oh yeah, they don't mind at all. The only thing I haven't figured out how to prepare for them yet is the heart. Because I don't want to cut it up and give it to them raw.
Right.
Because you give them that kind of blood regularly, the craving is way too high. So it's I tend to give them some, I'll take, I'll buy a family size package of chicken breast, boneless chicken breast. And I'll take a couple pieces for myself, to cook up. And then the rest of it I'll chop up and I'll give that to them raw. just beef, I stay away from doing that raw unless it's just the bones. You know, if it's bones, that's one thing. Because my neighbor's got cows, you know, and they have calves out there and stuff like that. And I would hate for one of my dogs to catch the scent of blood because a cow, you know, maybe went up against the barbed wire.
Right.
You know? And the thing is on my side, I have a regular chain link fence, you know, whereas on their side, they've got fence over there that will cut these cows, you know, and they haven't done any repair to their fences in years. I've been here since 2017, and they have done absolutely no repairs to their fence whatsoever. They're like, "Oh, your fence is good. Your fence is good." Yeah, until a cow comes through it, you know. And chain link, you know, all it takes is their body weight going against it, you know, a few times, and eventually that's, you know, that is going to break down. And I've had to repair and replace quite a bit of fencing.
If it doesn't have barbs on it, those cows will rub up against it. They love to rub. I mean, they'll rub on anything. So if it doesn't like poke them a little bit, and they have such thick hide that, you know, they'll just rub something to pieces. So we struggle with that a lot. Those cows.
Did you see Gabriel sneak up here when I mentioned BONES? He came up and he was looking like, yo, dude, where are they? And
that's his favorite word.
Yeah, and because I didn't acknowledge him, he left.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Okay. So we ready for the drawing?
I think so. Yeah. So there were 229 people entered in the drawing. And so we had it so that if you donated it all to the community freezer or placed an order or anything, we gave you 3 extra entries. So we got 3 extra entries for Randy, 3 for Missy, 3 for Catherine, 3 for Michaela, and 6 for Gary. So anyway, so that's a few extra entries. I got them all, everything in a list between 1 and 252. So we just need a number, a random number picked out between 1 and 252. So
between 1 and 252. All right. I'm going to give today's number pick to, well, Auntie Wells. Is she in chat? Is Auntie in chat today? I haven't seen any comments. Auntie Wells, where are you? Are you in chat? Sometimes she is, sometimes she's not. Sometimes she's just listening because she's on the road. She spends a lot of time going out to take care of her sister's place and stuff like that. So let's see. Okay, she had to go earlier. Okay, then I'm gonna leave it to Tammy. Tammy 621. Tammy 621. Drop a number between 1 and 252. 52.
Yep.
Between 1 and 252. Pick a number, Tammy. You guys stop dropping numbers. We only want Tammy. Don't influence.
They're trying to figure out what number theirs is.
Yeah, it's give me a second. Let me figure out when. Yeah.
Mary, I think, is your husband Gary? I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Gary has 6 extra entries. So that is where the extra entries are. And we actually shipped out your beef today. So it's on its way to you right now. So.
Okay, Tammy 621. Pick a number between 1 and 252. You guys stop influencing her with other numbers. Stop it.
Let me check real fast what's going on here.
You guys don't follow instructions at all. Look at them. What did they do? They dropped like 5 more numbers. Yeah, I got that. I got it. Auntie's not here. She's probably listening. Tammy did not said that. Stop it, chessboard. You're grounded. Yeah, I think she might be behind too. Hang on. I'm going to text her. Tammy, pick a number between 1 and 262.
Oh, there it is. Is that it?
Oh, yeah. She said 62. 62.
Okay,
Number 62.
62.
62 is our winner.
Let us find number 62. Number 60. Here it is right here. Okay. We got it. The winner of this whole health bundle that we were shipping out to you, we usually give you 24 hours to respond. So I'll shoot you an email right after this, is Mary Bradley.
Mary Bradley.
Yep. I don't know. Mary Bradley. I'll shoot you an email here in the next little while. And then let me find your email here. And then we'll give you 24 hours to respond. And if we can't get a hold of you within 24 hours, we'll pick another winner just so we can get things moving along and everything. So congratulations. We'll be shipping that to you for just probably this next Monday. Yeah. So.
And there is the winning name right there, Mary Bradley. Thank you, Independent. Thank you for doing that, because I was going to have to try and type it. Mary Bradley is our winner.
Yeah, congratulations. We're happy to, we love giving beef out to people. We usually do at least, I don't know, it's up to about 3 giveaways a month. So if you're on our email list, you're automatically entered into every one of them. So if you just stay on our email list, then you'll have a chance to keep winning. So, yeah.
All right. And congratulations to Mary Bradley. It's basically a $250 beef bundle with, what's the whole health bundle have? That's
5 pounds of steaks, 5 pounds of roast, and 5 pounds of ground beef. So it's a mix of everything. So usually there's a ribeye, sirloin, and then some tenderloins in there, and then a chuck roasts and rump roast, and then 5 pounds of ground beef. So, and our ground beef is 90-10. So it's 90% beef with 10% fat mixed in. So
yeah, I think she is on the Facebook side. As a matter of fact, now that you said that, Tammy, somebody just said that. Marianne Fisk said that. That's right. Thank you. Yeah. Congratulations to you, Mary. I'll actually, I think I can put up a, let me do this on a banner, real quick here.
And thank you to everyone who donated and ordered this week. We're just about ready to send out another donated bundle to somebody in this community. So it's pretty awesome to see all the support that you guys give to each other. And yeah,
it is amazing. It is, I see a lot of people doing a lot of promotional things, but I don't see anybody really doing anything that's per se that, something that can really lift people up, and to me, putting food in the freezer, refrigerator, eventually in the person's belly, or in your kids or grandkids, to me, that's, this is actually the best way to do it, I think. And it's, it's not about me getting something. It's about somebody from the community getting something. And as that changes, per time that we do this, it works out. It really just, lifting people up as much as we possibly can, and I know that the economic, world that we live in today, it's getting harder and harder for people to do anything. And I think that this is, this is great. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish people wouldn't donate as much because we lose a lot of money because we don't actually take anything off. Like we're donating about half of what, so we match the donations. It's about a half to a third.
Right.
So we help match those donations too. So every time you guys donate, it's money out of our pocket.
Yes.
I'm just kidding. It's awesome. It's awesome to see all these people donating and everything. So.
It is. It makes a difference. Because then you see that you're feeding a community that actually cares about each other.
Yeah, it's awesome to hear the responses from everybody about when they receive the beef and how much it means to them and everything. So
yep. It's I was going through some of your reviews the other day. I was just like, people are writing some nice reviews. I like seeing that,
Yeah, it's super
and it's important to do that because your opinion of their quality and consistency is is part of it. It's basically the same way that we should be with our local businesses. If we go into our local businesses and we're getting things that are sustainable, economical, and things like that, then we should be telling other people about it. We should be sharing that, and we should be sharing our gratitude with those that are providing that for us, because it shows that they care about their community as well. The difference is your community is now nationwide.
Yeah.
Instead of just being right there in that little section of Utah.
Yep.
And I think that's great.
It's pretty awesome that we can reach out to people around the nation, because people in our community here, if they ever need beef, there are so many. I mean, everyone around here has cows or knows somebody with cows. So if they ever need beef, they know where to go to get it. But there's a lot of people who live in places where they don't know any farmers. And so to be able to reach out and reach people all across the country and all these different cities and connect them with a farmer is pretty awesome to do now. So,
yeah. It's the last time you were on, and you were talking about how, you guys went to a function and the guy had just gone to the store and just bought some pre-made frozen hamburgers. And it's like, you guys were like, this isn't beef.
Yeah. Haven't eaten some of that in a while. It was a little different than what we usually have. So
yeah. Next time you guys gotta host it, and
that's for sure.
Let them know, because then they're going to be like, oh, maybe we should contact the Lamb family about doing this get together for us.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
It makes a huge difference.
Yep.
Chessboards. Chess. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Dang it. He's a funny guy. I love him to death though. He puts some great comments in the chat every day. We have so many viewers that are, they come in, they get the information, they want to see the news, the current things, and and understand a lot of the situations and things that are going on. And but a lot of times, a lot of these guys come in just to lift people up, get people in a good mood, get people laughing a little bit, share some awesome stories and everything. And it really does. It makes a huge difference, and you can tell, when you get up and you walk away from the computer after a few hours of watching the content and everything, are you getting up, walking away mad, or are you walking away feeling informed and uplifted because of the knowledge that you've gained? And did you feel good about the chat experience, coming in, and that's one of the things that I like, especially about the YouTube side is the big community of chatters, people who they want to hang out with each other. They want to learn things together, because, you may pick up a certain quantity, you may pick up this much of the information. Okay. But you're leaving behind this much of the information. You wish you could get it all, but because of the fact that the person next to you is picking up this much information as well, then by the time all of you have the information, community wise, you got all of it, and you pass it back and forth to each other, and you share that with each other. If somebody forgets something, you help them in recovering that information and being able to speak on that, because it's like the thing about the truth is it's easier and faster for a lie to spread than it is for the truth to spread. And think about how much work the truth has to do after you figure out that the lie that you got, gave you so much information. And then now you have to go through the process of disproving every little bit of that lie. And it's still going to take months for the rest of the world to know that that was a lie, and that this is the hardened truth. So it's like the more pieces that you have to put together, and the more people that you have in the community that are sharing that information, the clearer picture that you have, and to disprove the lie, it gets easier and easier and easier. And it's like, we were hearing things 2 years ago about the cattle industry.
Yeah.
We weren't really, we as a community, we weren't really paying much attention to that. It was in the last year that we began to really see the big changes in the grocery stores. At the same time, we're finding out about printed meat. We're finding out about meat
Pink
that's
slime.
not even meat.
Yeah.
And the slime. Yeah, it's like, so it's like, as you're learning these things, we're disproving the lie that the cattle industry has been proficiently good to us for so many years, when in all actuality, we were getting crap all along, while in other countries, they couldn't get away with doing this stuff.
Yeah, pink slime's outlawed, and it's illegal for human consumption in Canada and in all of Europe, so in the EU. So it's usually meant as dog food, but it's legal to feed to humans in America. So that's yeah. And it's like, and it's questionable as to whether you should even give that to your dogs. Yeah, not if you like your dogs.
It's like, I mean, you have working dogs, that work with the
They eat a
cattle.
lot of beef.
But you're not going to give them something that's going to be harmful to them, because they're just as much a cowboy as the guy who's on a horse.
Yep, but good dog's worth 3 cowboys. So
true. And it's that's nuts. All right, I'll check that out later. Slow Country. It's people texting me while we're talking. Sorry. I try to pay attention to everything, because somebody could be dropping me news at the same time, and it's like, with everything going on today, you got to be Johnny on the spot. You got to be on top of it. Because they've pulled so many things, and it's and looking at all the information that we go through on a daily basis. This is what's crazy is, as a cowboy, you don't have time to sit and learn all this stuff.
I'm pretty disconnected.
You guys concentrate on the ranch, and that's, and that in itself is a full-time 7-day-a-week job that you can't, and people don't understand the life of a rancher. Having time to sit down, even to do this it can be, that's time that you could be mending a fence, could be time that you could be branding cattle and calves, every bit of it. So it's we're grateful that you have the time to come on and talk with us and meet with us and share time with us and share stories with us. We appreciate it very much.
Yeah, I appreciate you letting me come on here. It's awesome to give back a little bit and do a giveaway and talk with everybody on here, and just try to let everybody know what's going on with the food and with the beef industry in particular, but also the big ag and everything like that. So the food industry in general, but
yeah. Any more news on those tags that they're going to force you guys to use?
Not that I've heard. Just the same thing. I don't know how they're gonna. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know how they're gonna let everybody know, because most of the farmers, at least in our area, they don't even barely know how to work their phones. So unless they go to the local cell barn and say, "Hey, this is what you got to do," nobody's gonna know about it. So it'll be interesting to see how they inform everybody about what's going on and how they'll track down who's doing it and who's not. So
yeah.
And
now you have a YouTube channel as well.
Yes, we do. Lightning Springs Ranch.
You know,
YouTube.
Guys, that's another way to check them out and see more of what they do and stuff.
We post videos on there, just kind of giving you an inside look at our cattle drives and stuff like that, and how we manage the cows and everything like that. Because we don't want to hide anything from you guys. We want to know we want you to know exactly what we're doing with our cows and how they're raised and where they're raised and everything like that. So we make little videos just showing you mostly the cattle drives, because they're pretty interesting, but you can see where they're raised and if they get sick, what we do with them and stuff like that. So it's pretty fun. It's fun little pastime to do. So
great.
Yeah. And also this week, just if anybody's thinking about ordering, this week is probably the last week to order before we might have to raise our prices because of summer shipping. This last week we had I think one order or two orders that were partially thawed when they got there because the weather had turned so hot. And so we're testing our insulation right now on our boxes and testing how we're shipping. So we might have to raise our prices by $5 or $10 based on just being able to get enough dry ice to ship everywhere in the country. So if you are thinking about ordering, this week would be a good week to do that before we send out an email informing everybody of that. So just as you know, we want to make sure you guys get the best price before we have to raise them, because it's hard to ship frozen beef in the summer. It's been a nightmare to work on, but we're figuring it out. So
these last few years here in Oregon, I mean, last year we had days where we were at 121 degrees.
Yeah.
You know, never happened before in the 18 years that I've been here. You know, it's like, whoa, wait, you really got to take a step back and breathe for a minute. It's crazy. I do my regular food orders. I use a company called Instacart that's out here. And because I can't drive anymore, I have seizures that, if I get behind the wheel of a vehicle and I crash into somebody, I'm going to feel bad for the rest of my life.
No kidding.
So I would be responsible for somebody else's death. So I willingly gave up my driver's license in order to ensure the safety of others. So I have to rely on these Instacart drivers to do my shopping for me. And it's like I'll order a bag of ice, and sometimes they'll do like 2, 3, or 4 orders, 4 different people's orders. And I'm like the farthest one out. So I'm the last one to get mine. And I always order ice because I have a couple of coolers here. And the ice is always half melted, but I have a couple of them that are pretty lickety split. They grab my order by itself and do that. And then they go back and get the other orders. And I like those kind of people who do that, because they make sure that everything gets here frozen. But your meat is always solid frozen. And the cool thing is when the sun is high in the sky and the heat starts to come, my package box is 100% in the shade.
That's good.
So yours is yours.
That's what we try to
for me.
We try to keep our stickers on there, or keep frozen stickers and our fragile stickers, so that people know what's going on. So
Yeah.
that they can
Well,
keep
it's
them
also
in
you
cold
bring a
areas.
box down to your house, and if you don't know what it is,
Exactly.
you know, you see
Just a random-
frozen on there though. It's like, oh, then that's got to be food, you know, because it's frozen. You know, you know to get it in and get it in the freezer quick. And if it didn't have those labels on it, you might set it on the counter and leave it there for a couple
For
hours
sure.
before you finally open it.
Yeah,
It's like,
for
oh,
sure.
why is everything melting? Ooh, I'm melting. Yeah.
There's one question here from Slow Country about reusable and insulated boxes. And what we do, so our boxes aren't we don't reuse our boxes or anything, but the liners that we use are recycled. The company we get them from recycles cardboard. And so they're recycled cardboard liners. So they have been repurposed. But that return, including the return label, is not a bad idea. I don't know how much it costs to get the stuff back, but it might not add up to. Just
you wouldn't want it back after I get done with it, because I actually repurpose your boxes after they
good.
get here. I use them as liners for my whelping boxes.
Oh, really?
For
Yeah,
when we have
shipping like 50 pounds of beef, it's really hard on those boxes, especially if they get any moisture on them. It kind of ruins them. So, but if they were way tougher, it might be worth it. But
yeah, I do a layer of cardboard on the bottom of the
Mhm.
whelping boxes, and then I put pea pads on top of it. They last about a week, you know, but they get, you know, they last about a week. And then, you know, a dog food box will come, you know, and I'll use that box. And so I'm constantly using the cardboard that comes to me, you know, because the puppies are messy. That's just,
that's just how
it's
they
just a
are.
fact. Puppies are messy. You're getting ready to have puppies.
Yep.
Now, how soon are your pups due?
About a month. So about a month, and we'll have another set of puppies on the ground. So yeah, it'll be interesting.
So I got to tell you, my best live stream ever was the second litter of puppies that we had at the farm, and we had over 7,000 viewers.
Oh, wow. Really?
From beginning to end, from the first pup coming out with a camera set up just on the whelping box on mama and the babies coming out.
Huh.
So
Really?
you should live stream the puppies being born.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
crazy that many people were there watching that.
Yeah. It's there's a couple of different sites on YouTube. There's the Decorah Eagles, and they have cameras that are on the eagles' nests all year round. So you get them see them lay the eggs. You get to see the male come in and basically protect the eggs during the winter time while mom flies off to hunt. And then you see the fledglings and you know from birth, and then you see them spread their wings and take wings for the first time, things like that. You know, it's just it's amazing. And then there's another one called Pete's Pond, which is in Africa, and it's a watering pond, and you'll see probably 100 different species of animals go down there and drink every night, every single night. You'll see lions drinking out of the same pond as a herd of gazelle. I'm not kidding. It's like, okay, the lights are off, guys. Now we're all friends again.
Yeah.
You know,
Can't see
kind of
each
thing.
other.
But as soon as the sun comes up, I'm coming for you.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
sounds like a great place for a crocodile or alligator or whatever to just hang out.
You should get a camera set up in the areas where when your cows are having calves.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah.
You know,
we have some cameras actually already. Like the heifers, the first calf heifers, when it's their first time having a baby, they need to be checked on. Like when they're having them, they need to be checked on all the time. So we have cameras set up in the shed that we can get on and look at them. So you don't have to walk out there in the middle of the night with a flashlight. So it's pretty nice. But yeah, if we could set that up to stream, then be in business.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a
Yeah.
and the thing is, you could do it so that you have a. Oh, the dog training pads just showed up. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, I was expecting an order today of training pads for the dogs. They've been doing really good on the pee pads. Now I'm going to go to training pads, which basically attempt to deter them from going potty inside, makes them want to go outside.
Right.
Because all my buildings have dog doors on them, so they can go in and out whenever they choose. The objective now is, these 7-week-old pups, I want them going outside. And the big dogs, which was really cool. This morning, I went out to go out and make my coffee, and Jilly Bean was out there walking on the fence line, and I was like, "Why is she out there by herself?" And then I looked and I saw she wasn't by herself. She went out, she pooped on the fence line, and before she came back, all 4 of the pups that were with her all pooped on the fence line.
Oh wow!
So it's like
training
she's
them.
showing them where to go. To go out and pee, they can pretty much go anywhere. That goes away relatively quick, but your poop sticks around. I like the added security layer, because if the first thing that you fall into when you break into my property is dog poop, generally you sound off and you make noise, and then all the dogs know that you're there. And then you're running for your life.
Yeah, I would not want to break in over there.
No, you wouldn't.
Sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, it's it's now the thing is if I open the gate and let you in, you're okay. But if you come over the fence, they know better. They know the difference. One of my neighbors, the Crookshanks, he came over the top of the fence.
Oh man.
And the dogs had him cornered up against the fence.
Oh yeah,
because he came over it. Now, every time he's come before that, he would come to my gate and ring the bell, and I'd go up and I'd meet him at the gate and let him in.
Yeah.
They have no problem with him, but he came over the fence, and they put him up against the fence, and they kept him there until I got there.
I'm sure he'll never do that again.
No, he won't. No, he won't. So we have a lot of interesting scenarios happen, because of people wanting to break in. They think it's still a pot farm. They don't know the only thing I have out here is dogs now. So they learn very, very quickly though.
Yeah.
Very, very quickly.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So, but all right, young man. So what do you got to go do today?
It's been just storming like crazy today, so I'll probably work on my computer for the next half of the day. We're working on setting up a system on our website where if you want, you can order or you can add on liver or heart or stuff like that to your order, or oxtail or tongue. So you can kind of customize your order a little bit. So if you don't have to go, we have a core nutrient bundle right now. There was a question earlier asking about organs, but we have a bundle called the core nutrient bundle that is all just organs, but we're working on setting it up so that you can kind of customize what organs you want and add them in with a normal bundle. So if you bought like a bundle of hamburger and you wanted some liver, you can add in a few pounds of liver or something like that. And and also my wife's been working on, we have been rendering tallow. So we got 15 pounds of tallow we're rendering down into and putting them in these jars so that we're going to make it so you can add those onto your order as well and use them for cooking, or you can use them for moisturizer. I've never done it, but my wife is looking into it. She's going deep down that rabbit hole, but yeah, so we're getting tallow here and gonna add those organs on stuff, so everything will be a little bit more customizable. So anyway,
yeah, like I said, I figured out what to do with the oxtail.
Yeah,
I put it in my Dutch oven, and I slow roasted it for about 3.5 hours. I started it off with some water. And then about 45 minutes later, I went out and I noticed the water went down relatively quick. So I put in some beef stock
Oh, that's good. That'll be good.
And I let it and I reduced the heat a little bit more, so it was a nice simmer. And it was about 3.5 hours. The dogs absolutely loved it. They were like, "Wow, this is different. Never had this before," kind of thing. Now the heart is the only thing that I'm trying to figure out, because
that one's a little
somebody had
harder.
told me to pressure cook it, but I don't have a pressure cooker out here, so it's whatever I do, I got to do with the Dutch oven, and go from there. So maybe I'll just dice it up, kind of thing, and do it like I did the oxtail.
That might
probably
be
be a good way to do it. So
yeah, I don't know how to cook either of those. I'd like to get into it though. It seems like, especially liver, people are they talk about how much of a superfood beef liver is and how all the benefits it has. And I've never really had it before. And so I got to start getting into it to see what's going on. What am I missing out on? So we have a lot of liver. We get a lot of liver.
my mom was big on liver and onions. And I never cared for the taste of liver.
Yeah.
Never ever cared for the taste of it. Our dog Rascal at that time was a black Labrador, and he knew when we were having liver to be underneath my table, because I would cut it, have it on my fork, and then as soon as Mom was looking at one of my brothers and sisters, I'd just bring the fork down and let them take the meat right off my fork, and and then just act like I was chewing.
Yeah,
I'd be really hungry that night, but that's okay. Rascal ate well.
Yeah. I'm sure he loved liver night.
Oh yeah, he did. He lived a long time too. I think he was about 12 years old when he crossed the Rainbow Bridge. He was quite the dog. He was definitely a character, no doubt about it. So I like dogs with character, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And they have personality to them. They're not just working dogs. They're part of the family, and that's. We had one named Zipper. He was a Great Dane, and I got sent to my room. I think I was like 5 years old or 6 years old, and I went in and I slammed the door shut. I didn't realize that Zipper's tail was in the door.
No.
And so he had to go and have his tail cut off, and that was the last time I ever abused an animal.
Yeah, last time you slammed your door.
Yeah, well, no, I slammed my door many times after that, but I just didn't have a dog when I was doing it. So, yeah. As a Marine, you learn that slamming doors can be beneficial to the spurring on of troops getting done what you tell them to do.
There you go. As long as there's no dog's tails in them.
Yeah, as long as there's no dog tails there. Yep. So
yeah.
All right. Well, guys, that's gonna be it for us this afternoon. Thank you much for joining me and with Donovan here this last 40 minutes. We will see you again tomorrow, probably about 11 a.m. Tomorrow's gonna be a rain day, so tomorrow's probably gonna be about a 6 or 7 hour long show. And we'll cover a lot of things that I didn't get to go through with you guys today. Donovan, thank you again for joining us. Thank you for the giveaway. And guys, you all have an awesome day, and we will see you again tomorrow. Remember, God loves you, Christ loves you, I love you, Donovan loves you. Peace.
See ya.
you.